Welcome to the Big House, Columbia, South Carolina, Williams-Brice Stadium. It's a doubleheader, state championship day. Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Mahalik, along with Lane Harris. A very special day for two very good high school football teams. A little bit later on in the doubleheader, Hartsville will play. But first of all, it's the 3A state title game. Cheraw takes on Clinton. And, of course, Cheraw's going to do what got him here today.
Brian McManus, number 4, the tailback from the wishbone, will be running a lot today, 30 to 35 carries. But for Clinton and Cheraw both, it's like looking across the field at a mirror image of yourself. Both of these teams run a base 50 defense, and they run the wishbone. Clinton will probably diversify their offense a little bit more than Cheraw, but it'll be a great game.
And Clinton needs to stop the big play of Cheraw.
Both of these teams will be very psyched in the very beginning of this game. It's a high school state championship. The emotions will be running high. Our early mistake could be in order.
All right, we've got the opening kickoff of the state 3A championship game coming up right after this. Stadium in Columbia, South Carolina. This is the dream of a lot of high school kids to get a chance to play at the big school stadium and get a chance to play for a state title. The Cheraw Braves were here last year, losing to Daniel. This year, out on the field, they were not in awe of playing here, and that should help out Cheraw an awful lot.
Coach Bernie Bourne was talking about that before the game. The guys were very focused during the week of practice, and they really took the task at hand. They knew the responsibilities, and the fact that they were here last year was one of the things that Coach Bourne felt that would keep them focused, keep them relaxed. Because when you get an atmosphere like this as a high school player, and that's something we talked about in the pregame, is your emotions will run high. And you don't want your emotions running so high that you lose your focus and you forget what you're here for, which is to win the state championship.
But I tell you what, there's a lot of room in the stadium, and it's only about, I'd say, 1/5 full, but boy, is it loud. Both the Clinton side and the Cheraw side making a lot of noise. Clinton won the toss. They have elected to receive. So the state 3A championship game will begin with the Cheraw Braves kicking things off. Glad you could be with us for the TV 15 game of the week. It is a doubleheader. Remember, Hartsville versus Richland Northeast is coming up next, but Cheraw and Clinton is underway. Gary from the 5 out to the 25, 20-yard return to open up the ball game. So Clinton comes out on offense. They will go with basically a wishbone and throw some different formations in there. Mark Young is the starting quarterback. He's passed for over 1,000 yards. Roderick Wilson, number 73, he'll have to contain Maurice Miller along that right side. And then the Clinton receivers, when they do decide to go to the air, watch out for Barry Martin, number 88.
Look for Clinton to go up the top early. They found some things in the Cheraw secondary that they think they can take advantage of here early in the game.
Gary, the tailback, has rushed for over 1,400 yards this year. He averages right around 6 yards a carry. They give it to him right off the bat. He's got a big hole. Terry Gary out to the 47-yard line. Big pickup on first down. So Clinton right away goes up the gut against that Cheraw defense.
Clinton came out, the Red Devils came out, spread the field, ran a little motion, and Gary, just on sheer athletic ability, pops through the side and gets good yardage before any pursuit from Cheraw picks him up. Big play on the first play from scrimmage.
So Gary is their main man, but they will use a lot of different sets in the backfield. Doug Dendy is now the tailback. Behind the quarterback, Mark Young, 2 split to the right. They'll go to Dendy, and Dendy has a big hole up the middle. Murray hits him before the first down marker, but Dendy keeps going, picks up the first down, and so Clinton maybe saw something in the film because right away they're going into the soft underbelly of the Cheraw Braves.
One of the things that both of the coaches said coming into this game, there are a lot of good backs on the field. You're going to see a lot of strong running, a lot of broken tackles. Kenyatta Murray that time from his free safety position came up and put the head on Dendy. But as we'll see from when Cheraw gets the ball, McManus will do the same thing. Clinton's on the drive early.
Maurice Miller off to the right side, number 43 for Cheraw. Keep an eye on him. He's their big play defensive player, or shrine bowler. He needs to come up with a big stop. They'll run right at him. But the stop was made by the Cheraw defense. Well, Ron Williams gets a hand in there to make the stop. The Cheraw defense, as I mentioned, is led by Maurice Miller, number 43, the shrine bowler. LaRon Williams, they call him Rock. He's tough at the nose guard position. The linebackers, Gillespie and Crawford, will make a lot of the tackles. That's the way it works in a 5-2. And in the secondary, number 18, Kenyatta Murray, one of the best in the state. 14 interceptions last year. He has 10 this year, and he's a primetime Division I college prospect. 2nd down and 7 for Clinton. 4th play from scrimmage. Out of the pro set, quick pitch out to Gary. Gary tries that left side, doesn't get much.
LaRon Williams from his nose guard position. We're going to see some good nose guards today also, Bob. LaRon Williams is very good pursuit. Matt Young, the coach's son, with a very low pitch, but Gary makes a nice catch on it. And you see the Braves defense really starting to swarm already.
And a good job by number 1, Dennis Love, the corner coming up. He took out the pulling guard, made sure he couldn't block anyone else, and now allowed the pursuit to get to him. 3rd down and 5. The Red Devils of Clinton moving the ball well on the ground. Will go to the air. Young, under pressure, but gets it away too tall. The play action works, but they're applying the pressure for the Cheraw Braves was Jeff Purr.
Well, what happened on that play, Alex Moses, number 41, you see on your screen right there, and Barry Martin, the receiver you talked about in the pregame, both collided. Barry Martin fell down, so the play was broken from the start, and it fell incomplete. So Clinton now will have to punt.
Yeah, a bit of a decision for Clinton what to do on 4th and 5 from the 35, and they're going to show punts. Now, an offsides against Cheraw would give Clinton the first down, so watch for a off-cadence call here to try and draw Cheraw offsides. Nobody back deep for Cheraw. They're looking for the fake, but the punt is away. It looks like a good one, end over end. Hits and dies inside the 10, and the good bounce down to the 6-yard line. So good punt from the Clinton Red Devils puts Cheraw working out of the shadows of their own goalpost. The Cheraw offense, of course, the main man is Brian McManus, number 4. He run out of the tailback position for the Cheraw Braves, and he is absolutely dynamite. He's rushed for 32 touchdowns this year, over 2,225 yards. And of course, he could go nowhere without the big line in front of him. Jeff Purr, good defensive player, also anchors the center. Watch for Tad Polson on the left side. He does an excellent job. Maurice Miller, Rashid Rushton, very talented wideouts. They're big playmen. First down for Cheraw out of the wishbone. Quarterback Huggins gives it to the fullback who goes nowhere.
Rodney Lewis on the inside play. The Braves come out in the wishbone with their backs to the wall here. You can't take any chances here. I was really surprised that time with Clinton set up at the 35-yard line. If you try to go for a field goal, it's a 52-yard kick. Before their game, their kicker, Rich Littlejohn, was kicking them from about 60 yards out. He was kicking 45-yard field goals that were going 12 rows up into the Williams-Bryce end zone bleachers. He was really pumped up. We may see some calls from him later in the game for a very long field goal.
Rushton and Murray split down to the short side of the field as they break the wishbone. They give it to McManus, and McManus tries the left side, gets a few. Starting defensive lineup for the Clinton Red Devils. Jeff Bingham is the nose guard. Young and Wilson are the tackles. Addison and Crisp on the outside. The linebackers, of course, the 5-2, just like Cheraw runs. Doug Dendy, who plays a lot on offense, and Tosh Corley. And the secondary, they will be challenged trying to stop Rushton and Murray. They have Dendy back there as well as Gray, Austin, and Moses. 3rd down and 3. First offensive possession of the football game for the Cheraw Braves. Pitch to McManus, hitting the backfield, keeps his feet going, but still doesn't get the first down as he stops shy of the 15-yard line. So the Clinton defense comes out, establishes themselves right off the bat by stopping McManus in the running game.
Bill Rhodes, the defensive coordinator for the Red Devils, said Cheraw is a no-finesse team. They've got very few plays. One of those was the pick sweep we saw right there to McManus. If they felt like if they could stop the wishbone and the pitch plays and force the Braves to pass, they would have a much better chance of winning this ball game.
Tim Bone does the punting for Cheraw. 31, Gary, and 35, Carter are back deep. Gary is the dangerous one. 31, high snap. Bone fumbles it. He's going to have to run with it now. He's got a chance for the first down if he can get past the 16, and he does. Tim Bone with a huge play. How about that for a quality ad-lib job? Under pressure, Bone comes up and picks up a first down, turns disaster into a quality play.
Well, I think if you ask Tim Bone about this, he'll say that was not my choice. I'd rather kick the ball. But when these bobbles to snap here, Clinton really didn't put a lot of pressure on. They were setting up the return, but Bone has the presence of mind to run for the flag stick. And he makes a nice cut that time, eluding the tackle of number 55, picks up the first down and puts Cheraw back in business.
He did his Brian McManus impression there since Brian got stopped on his first 2 possessions of the game. A very windy afternoon here at Williams-Bryce Stadium. It could make it difficult on the passing. Out of the wishbone, they'll keep it on the ground. McManus left side plows ahead for a few.
McManus will run a lot behind Tad Polson, number 6'2", and Derek McCray on the left-hand side of that line. The Braves are just trying to, as we said before, this is smash mouth football. They line up, they've got big bodies on the front, and they do a good job of knocking you off the ball. And that's one of the things that concern the Red Devil coaches, that the Cheraw Braves are a little more physical than they are, but Clinton feels like they're a little quicker on the defensive side of the ball.
Gillespie and Lewis are the 2 other running backs back there with Brian McManus on 2nd down and 6. Huggins gives it to McManus off the right side, and he's got some room. Brian McManus still on his feet. He could go. And he's dragged down past midfield. Good closing tackle by Telly Gary, who's got excellent speed. He was the only one on the field that has the speed to run down Brian McManus.
Well, if you see it in this play with the strong safety, I think it's Norris Denny, number 25, makes a cut and falls down completely. You see the nice cut back that time by McManus, and that's what he is so well known for. And again, the balance we saw before in the Myrtle Beach game early in the year, that little fall right there allowed Telly Gary to catch up with him and make the tackle. There's your two starting tailbacks right there.
So Cheraw, after that bumbled punt that turns into a first down, is now in Clinton territory. They'll try a similar play to McManus, who picks up 5 off that right side, or excuse me, the left side, running behind Terry McClendon and Tad Polson and Jeff Furr.
We've already seen McManus carry the ball, what, 6, 7 times of the 8 plays that Cheraw does. They don't masquerade it. They line up on the line of scrimmage and smash mouth football right back up the middle. Eric McManus is our man, number 4. He's going to get the ball, stop him if he can.
Yeah, Coach Bourne, no secret. He says he'll get it 30 to 35 times a game. And what about the endurance of McManus? I mean, he's carried the ball 30 times a game for 14 games, and he's still going strong. They'll go to Gillespie, and Gillespie finds room off that left side. Another scrap up front brings him for a 14-yard gain. So Robert Gillespie, he's not the understudy of Brian McManus. He has over 300 yards on the year, but just to give you an idea on how the Cheraw offense works, that's Gillespie's 75th carry. Brian McManus with 365.
That's one of the things the Red Devils must be concerned about, is that if they start keying on McManus, that's going to open up things for Gillespie, Huggins, and then all of a sudden you look around behind you and Rasheed Rushton's running for a touchdown.
1st and 10 for Cheraw, moving the ball. Slipping and falling down McManus after a 1-yard gain. The field is in pretty good shape. Now, last year, when Cheraw came to play Daniel here in the state championship game, they were filming that movie, The Program, here at Williams-Brice, and the field was tore up. This year, the field is in excellent shape. I was down on the field playing a little catch with some of the Cheraw's managers before the game, and the field's in very good condition. Great afternoon for football. Not too cool, but again, the wind may cause some problems later in the game. And it's a crosswind blowing right across the field. So if Huggins decides to go into the air, he will have to play with the wind. He does go to the air. And it's complete. Down near the 24-yard line, Rasheed Rushton makes the reception. Or is it Murray?
It's Murray. That's Kenyatta Murray. Ran an out pattern. Is getting up very slow. Huggins drops back in the pocket this time. Feels a little pressure from the inside. Rolls out. Nice strong arm. Nice throw to Rushton. Got a little bent back that time from the tackle from behind. It looks to be okay.
You think it's fun for the kids to play at Williams-Brice? Well, how about the announcers? We're about 5,000 feet away from the field. We're normally right down on there.
I had to bring my binoculars today to be able to pick up the numbers.
3rd down and 1. This drive began at the 16-yard line. McManus, 1st down, Cheraw inside the 20.
That time, number 45 for Clinton, DeWitt Simmons, came in from his defensive end position. Clinton has a very unique defensive lineup in that they have 2 different sets of defensive ends. They'll bring in number 45 and number 35 when they need a good pass rush, but regularly 85, Nigel Crisp, and 86, John Addison are normal defensive ends. So they'll mix it up a lot.
Rushton is split down to the bottom of the screen on a 1st down and 10. 3:17 to go in quarter number 1. No score from Columbia. Similar play as they've been running the entire drive to McManus, but McManus is stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Jeff Bigham was all over McManus that time from his nose guard position. That Jeff Bigham matchup in the middle of the line right there will be a key. As we'll see today, you're going to see some very good nose guard play. Jeff Bigham answers the call.
2nd down and 10. They'll stay in the wishbone. Option back to McManus. McManus has a blocker in front of him, cuts it to the inside, down to the 16. He had Gillespie leading the way around the outside, but McManus makes the decision to cut it in and picks up a few. Good decision this time by Jamie. You see him come right up and stand up and look right at the defensive end, makes his read, and makes the pitch. That time, a nice cut in and roll by McManus. Telly Gary from his free safety position. McManus and Gary are going to get to be good friends before the game's over. Yeah, both are probably the best athletes for their respective teams. Both play tailback, and both are very quick. Here's a big 3rd down. 3rd down and 7. Under 2 minutes to go in the 1st quarter. Cheraw stays in the wishbone. Huggins fumbles the snap and falls on it. And now it's decision time for Cheraw. Looks like the kicking team is coming in.
Huggins looked like it was going to be the pitch sweep again to McManus. But Jamie, in his eagerness to try to get the ball out there to McManus so he can make a cut, just fumbled the snap. It looks like they are inside field goal range. They're right in the middle of the field. It looks like Coach Bourne is going to take his chances here for a three-pointer.
Jamie Huggins, the quarterback, is the holder. Thomas Gainey. It'll be a 34-yard field goal attempt. Cheraw trying to get on the board first in this 3A state title game. Good snap, good hold. The kid is plenty long, but it is no good. He missed it wide to the right, so a nice drive from Cheraw ends in a missed field goal.
The Cheraw Braves, though, were able to move the ball against the Red Devil defense. Had been starting this drive back on the 6-yard line.
Turn that fumble punt into a first down. Clinton has got an easy
Kenny Prince almost blocked that punt.
Yard line, but Huggins fumbling the snap on third down and long. Cheraw had to settle for the field goal attempt, which they missed. So it's no score at one. Brian McManus, inside trap, picked up about 3, maybe 4.
Two middle linebackers, Kosh Corley and Doug Denny for the Red Devils, are really keen on McManus. That time he lined up on his left-hand halfback side and did a cutback on a little counter play on the inside with Tad Paulson getting the big block for him. Picked up good yardage on first down.
Rushed it.
You talk about received rushing, and notice before the game.
Rushton's certainly one of the better athletes in the state. He's an all-conference baseball player, and odds are I'll probably play baseball when he does go. Football scouts would love to have him come to their university as well. Third down and inches. Huggins, the quarterback, gives it to McManus, stuck at the line of scrimmage, but still enough to get the...
You saw the Red Devil defense really get inside down from the inside and put a lot of bodies in there, anticipating the run from McManus. But McManus is just a strong runner, good balance, strong leg drive. Picked up the play. Number 52 got a good head on him. Jeff Bigham again from his nose off position.
McManus, but he slipped.
Or due to ankle injuries, gives your ankle a little bit more support. And on a grass field, it's a little better than the artificial turf that used to be here at Williams.
Well, McManus,
just a little injury.
Taking his wrap off. I was wondering if that maybe affects his footing a little bit. No score here in the second quarter. Under 9 minutes to go. 2nd and 9. Gillespie. Gillespie up 3 or 4 as they try and mix things up a little bit on Clinton.
You know, until the Red Devils stop McManus, which they seem to have gotten a hand on here in the last 2 or 3 plays, you know, you can expect Bernie Bourne to keep giving them bread and butter. He's the guy that got him here, and he's going to carry it a lot, and he's going to pile up some yardage if the Red Devils can't stop him.
Well, as a team, Cheraw averaging about 240 yards worth of rushing offense per game. McManus carries the bulk of the load there. He averages about 160 yards per game. So about 70% of the rushing offense is number 4, Brian McManus. Huggins wants to throw. Out pattern, Rushton complete for the first down.
If you look on the field, Rushton was the only receiver out in the zone. So the Red Devil secondary has got to do a better job when you Avery Austin on the defensive, applying the defensive pressure, but Rushton just gets too much room, too much separation. Nice tackle, but they got what they needed. They got the first down.
And an excellent throw from Jamie Huggins, that down and out into the wind, and an excellent pass over the linebackers and before it gets to the safeties. Huggins has passed for about 450 yards already this season. Doesn't get asked to pass a lot, but when he does, he's very efficient. McManus, nice hole, picks up about 4 or 5. Football comes out, but the whistle had blown.
The Devils are really concerned about Maurice Miller and his big play ability from the tight end position. And if you saw that last play where the defensive secondary really did not do a good job of covering Rushton. Normally on offense, you send 3 or 4 receivers out and try to flood the zones to get you a mismatch in the secondary. That time, all Cheraw did was send out the wide receiver on an out pattern. So the Red Devils have to do a better job of defending in the secondary if they're going to stop Cheraw.
And last week, Cheraw was more than just McManus. Miller had a big reception for a touchdown, and they spread things out against the Seahawks. 2nd down, 5. Inside handoff. Taken down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line.
That's Philip Ash, number 25. It's one of the backup halfbacks. Snuck in that time for Robert Gillespie. Nice little counter play there. You see number 51 with the block, Josh Newberry from his right guard position, bringing Ash for a big play.
Well, that trap has really worked. The guards for Cheraw doing an excellent job of cracking down. 7 minutes left in the first half. Still no score. Cheraw very effective in moving the football. They've been piling up the yardage, but have yet to get into the end zone. McManus to turn the corner. Brian McManus with nothing but green in front of him. Gary's the last man there, and he runs him down inside the 5. Boy, once McManus gets to the corner, he's almost unstoppable.
That's what the defensive coordinator, Bill Rhodes, was talking about. Cheraw could score from anywhere on the field like that. When you got a back like Eric McManus, he can get outside, and once you get past him, you're not going to catch him. They've got a big play potential. There's a big play by Brian McManus, leading to 1st and goal from the 5.
So now Cheraw knocking on the door. 6:52 to go in the first half. McManus. Touchdown, Cheraw. 33rd touchdown of the year, none bigger than the first one of a state championship game.
This is just a power play, power football. Right straight ahead, the balance. He'd have never made it in unless he'd have fallen on that Red Devil to ease his path into the end zone.
So another impressive drive from Cheraw. This one ends up with a touchdown. 70-yard drive for the Cheraw Braves. It's 6-0 now. Gaining for the extra point. Huggins holds. Gainey's kick. 7-0 Cheraw. So the Braves are on the board, 7-zip with 6:45 to go in the first half on the state 3A championship game. They lead at 7-0 with 6:45 to go in the first half. Gainey kicking off to the Clinton Red Devils. From the 5. Out to the 27-yard line. Decent return by Stephen Jenkins.
Stephen Jenkins, your backup cornerback. He saw a lot of action on that last series. Number 88 for the Red Devils, Barry Martin, who goes both ways in the defensive secondary and an offensive end, took a rest on that last series.
So now it's up to the Cheraw defense to keep the momentum going. Richie Boyd goes split to the top of the screen for Clinton. That's the quarterback, Mark Young. He does like to throw. They won't change their game plan because they're down, but Young will like to throw. He doesn't like to run when there's no room. And he is thrown for a loss. Jermaine Esau.
Jamar Esau is playing in there in place of Jeff Furr. Jeff Furr also goes both ways, so you see both coaches now going to their bench and giving some of their two-way starters a little rest. It looked like a little bit of a broken play that time. Young came away from the center snap, faked the handoff, and tried to duck into a hole, but Jamar Esau was right there for the play.
And Cheraw's rush defense is very good. They have not allowed opponents over 130 yards. That is a terrific rush defense. Pro set, they want to throw. Young to the air, incomplete. He was looking for Barry Martin, but the quick hit wasn't there. You can see Clinton get a little bit frustrated now, unable to move the ball on the ground.
There's another thing the Red Devil coaches were concerned about. They knew they had to be successful running the ball to be able to open up the passing attack and vice versa. But when Cheraw comes in and is able to shut down the rushing attack like they did on the first play of this drive and the last drive, it's going to force Clinton out of their offensive scheme and force them to throw the ball more than they want to.
The Cheraw fans have the tomahawk chop going. 3rd down and 10. Out of the post at a passing formation for Clinton. They will run. The option, Gary. Plenty of room. And now past the 40 for the first down. That was Doug Denby, not Kelly Gary. So on 3rd down, a good play call from Coach Young as he decides to go with the option and it works because Cheraw was not ready for it.
They spread the field to the wide side, ran the short side option that time, caught the Braves in a bad defensive coverage that time, and Gary picks up good yardage. Murray and Love come up with a tackle.
Gillespie over pursuing to the right side that time, and the option came back to the left. So an important 3rd down pickup for the Clinton Red Devils as they'll stay in that pro set formation. Dendy tries the right side.
Say hello to Maurice Miller.
The Shrine Bowler, 43 for Cheraw. 6'3", 260-plus pounds. USC, Clemson, NC State, you name it, they want him.
The Clinton coaches were really concerned about him on both sides of the ball, especially defense. They have nobody except for maybe Broderick Wilson who can match up physically against him. Maurice Miller, you get a good look at him right there, coming to a college stadium near you.
You get the idea that maybe Tommy West is lurking in the audience somewhere tonight?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Young wants to throw, under pressure from the blind side, gets it away, incomplete. Scott King trapped it up near the 50-yard line in the middle of the Gamecocks. So that's going to set up a 3rd down and long, and Maurice Miller behind the play is injured. See if we can see Miller in the replay here.
He'll put the pressure on Young. It looks like he tripped up. There was nobody near him. He just fell down. Maurice is back up, though, a little bit of a limp, but there was nobody that blocked him. He was on a clear path to Mark Young to make the play, but just seemed to slip over the turf.
So Jeff Furr comes back in the lineup for Cheraw to replace Miller for this one play. Miller looks like he's going to be all right. 3rd down and 9.
Jamar Esau will slip back over to Maurice Miller's tackle position, and Furr will come back into his left defensive tackle position that he's used to.
Last time on 3rd and 9, Clinton ran the option and got the 1st down. Inside handoff. First down. So on third down and long, 2 consecutive times, Clinton runs the football. This time, it's Norris Dendy who gets the first.
A little fullback counter trap here. Dendy just pops off the left-hand side. The Cheraw Braves, I think, are expecting the Red Devils to pass, and the Clinton running offense is starting to chew up some good chunks of yardage, and very unpredictably on third down and long.
Well, Clinton likes to mix it up in the backfield. Gary is their leading carrier with over 1,500 yards, but, you know, Doug Dendy has 825 yards. The other Dendy, 258, so they will spread it out a little bit. And another new guy touches the ball, Alex Moses. And Moses picks up decent yardage on first down.
Alex Moses ran through Dennis Young that time. We talked about Dennis Young with his good run support. That time, Dennis Young was unable to stop Alex Moses on the off-tackle play.
So now Clinton moving the football into Cheraw territory at the 37.
Trey Hopfield, number 14, backup quarterback, comes in at one of the wide receiver positions.
Doug Dendy is the tailback on 2nd and 1. They give it to Dendy. Forward progress may give him the first down. Williams celebrates, but I think it's going to be enough for the first.
Maurice Miller is back in the ballgame. You see him right there on the center of the screen, number 43. The Cheraw defense is playing with a lot of enthusiasm. LaRon Williams has come up with some big plays. Kenyatta Murray from the safety position. But right now, the momentum seems to be Clinton's way. They're going to bring the sticks out and take a look at this one.
Well, the only way Clinton can run the ball is when it's third down and long. That's when they've been most effective. 3:25 to go here in the first half of football. Cheraw leading Clinton 7-0. They'll check for the measurement. Right now, Clinton getting a little bit of offensive momentum going. And it's important for them is if we go into halftime here, they've got to establish something because they really haven't touched the ball that much on offense because Cheraw's had 2 long, time-consuming drives. It is a first down.
Speaking with Al Roebuck, the Clinton offensive coordinator before the game, they really felt like they could take advantage of this hard pursuit of the Cheraw Braves. They really pursue upfield hard, and Kenyatta Murray and Rasheed Rushing, the safety positions, really fly to the ball when they see runs. So look to Clinton. It's about time for a play-action pass. They've been very successful with the run. They're in good field position here. They can afford to take a chance here. So look for Mark Young, maybe try a little play-action pass.
Yeah, Young does have 10 touchdown passes this season. 1st and 10. Option. Back to Gary. Fumbles the football. Williams had it in his hands, and now Cheraw recovers. Robert Gillespie.
Nice read by Young. Slightly behind him. Looked like it hit him on the shoulder pad. He never had a handle on it.
Well, he looked up, saw Dennis Love bearing down on him, took his eye off the football, and Gillespie jumps all over it, so Cheraw gets a much-needed turnover to stop the Clinton drive.
Coach Andy Young was very concerned about his team's ability to minimize their mistakes. There's really the first big mistake we've seen in this game today was the fumble right there.
So now Cheraw has 250 to try and get it into the end zone. Senior quarterback Jamie Huggins going to the air.
Pitch and go.
Rushed in right sideline, almost intercepted by Gary, and it falls incomplete. Took a while for that play to develop because there was double coverage over there on Rushton.
Again, with the wishbone, they don't throw the ball a lot, and you can tell because every time they have a pass play, it's either Rasheed Rushton or Kenyatta Murray, the only players in the zone. The only player with a chance to catch that ball is Kelly Gary. So it's 2nd and 10.
I like that play call, though. If you're going to throw on first down.
Right.
Because McManus is the kind of back that can get you big yardage, whether it's first down, 2nd down, or 3rd. Clock stopped, 2:35 to go in the first half. Option, McManus. Doesn't get much. Good pursuit by the Clinton Red Devil defense. Stops him after about a 3-yard gain. Young makes the stop.
Right now we see the Clinton bringing in their pass rush defensive end. Number 35, Bryant Carter, number 45, Derwent Simmons, and the 2 run-conscious defensive ends come out. So in passing situations, look for 45 and 35 to enter as defensive ends for the Clinton Red Devils to try to put a little pressure on Jamie Huggins.
Well, we've seen Clinton on 3rd down and long use the run effectively to pick up the first down, and when you've got Brian McManus in your backfield, that's a pretty good go-to guy for Cheraw. But 2 receivers are in, Murray and Rushton, both dangerous, split to the bottom. Huggins under center on 3rd and 8. He will throw. Looking for Murray. Murray almost makes a sensational catch, but it falls incomplete.
Running stride for stride with him that time was Avery Johnson, and Kenyatta Murray was in a good place. Jamie Huggins is really looking impressive throwing the ball. This ball is right on the money. Straight drop back pass. Rashid rushing on a curl route, but Avery Austin did not bite. He's right back there, and Rushton had his hands on the ball. Kenyatta Murray, excuse me.
So it's fourth down, and Cheraw's going to have to punt it away. Bone goes to punt it. Last time he tried to punt, he fumbled the snap and is near his own end zone, and ended up turning it into a 15-yard gain and first down. This time he'll hope to get the punt away, considering the field position they're at again. Good snap. And it's a pretty good punt from Bone. Drives Gary back to the 24. Gary strung out, nowhere to go. Maybe to the 27 before getting knocked out of bounds. And now Clinton will have a $1.29 to try and get on the board.
Now maybe we'll see this Red Devil offense opening up a little bit. They were talking offensive coordinator Al Roebuck felt that he could have success against Cheraw, passing off their lead option and also using a lot of motion, a tight end drag play where they run motion across and sprint out across the field and drag their tight end off. And that's one of the things Myrtle Beach had success with. We saw in a game of the week about a month ago, is countering this hard-charging Cheraw defense by putting players out in the flat or the fullback out of the backfield, as we saw Yen Simmons with a big touchdown play.
Young has a man open over the middle. Murray's over there to knock it away. Boy, if Young would have got rid of the football earlier, he would have had Barry Martin streaking down the middle, but Murray was able to read it and come over and make the stop.
Perfect example of what we're talking about right there. They try to get Kenyatta Murray to react to the run. They run a little sweep action to the left, and there you see Young pull up. Maurice Miller with right in his face on that play, and Kenyatta Murray with a jump ball situation. 10 interceptions on the year for Murray. Just knocks the ball away.
And credit Miller for putting the pressure on the quarterback, Young. If Young would have had time to step up and throw it, he would have been able to get the ball deeper and maybe got it out to Martin, but because of the pressure, he had to short arm it a little bit. Inside handoff. Love there to make the stop for Cheraw. Norris Dendy takes it about 5 yards.
Cheraw's going to use a timeout here to try to stop the clock in hopes of getting the ball back. Just a little counter play to try to catch the Cheraw defense napping. Good really form tackle. At five, like he said, 5'7", 156 pounds. He's really throwing his body in there, and that's what you want out of your cornerback. Good run support.
7-0 Cheraw, minute 9 to go. We'll be right back. Gary on the pitch. Close to the first down, and he may have it. He needs to get past the 39. He's near the 40, and that should move the sticks for Clinton, and that's all they wanted to do. They didn't want to have to punt the ball away and give Cheraw the football with about a minute left.
They need to call their play and get at the line of scrimmage as soon as possible, because as soon as the officials spot this ball and get the chain set up, the clock will start. And there it goes. Less than a minute to go. They're going to try to get in field goal range.
I don't really think they care about any offense right now. I just think they don't want to punt it away, and that's why they just were happy to get the first down. They'll probably be pretty conservative here, but you never know. 47 seconds left in the first half. Young, forget conservative. He wants to throw. And it's almost intercepted and knocked away.
Philip Ash from a strong safety position. That's his responsibility. When that inside receiver goes to the outside, Philip Ash has flat coverage, and he's right in the right position to make the play on just a Barry.
And if that pass is underthrown and he picks it off, it's 6 the other way. So if Clinton's going to gamble, they should gamble over the middle. That way, if the ball does get intercepted, there's less likely a chance of Cheraw taking it back all the way. Gary into the lineup. Dendy checks out. 40 seconds left in the first half. A very fast-moving first half. It's taking about 40 minutes of real time to play this first half. Both teams like to keep it on the ground. It's been a very physical, hard-hitting game. Cheraw leads at 7-0. Young, quick hit. In and out of the hands, and it's intercepted, and there he goes.
Later.
Kenyatta Murray. Touchdown, Cheraw. No, they mark him down at the inch line. Young tripped him. It should have been a tripping penalty in the first place. They mark him down at the inch line, but this is what I'm talking about. They go to the air. It gets dangerous. Murray has all kinds of speed. Another big interception. Gets one block by Ash, and it's gone down to the inch line.
That's got to be a touchdown. That has got to be a touchdown. That's a legitimate, blatant trip.
Well, they can't move it any closer to the end zone. If they're going to mark it halfway to the goal line, then move it about 2 centimeters forward. How do you call that down at the inch line?
This is the second Cheraw game where we've seen an official with beagle eyes to be able to spot a ball that close to the goal line.
Well, in soccer, that would have been a penalty for the trip, but in football, I guess anything goes. And now Cheraw making sure they don't make a mistake down there on the goal line, calls the timeout. Remember that Huggins did fumble the football on a snap. on an earlier possession. So obviously Cheraw and Coach Bernie Bourne wanting to be a little bit careful. He'll stomp out, a little bit angry, but you don't want to make any mistake now. You've got the ball in the half-yard line with a chance to go up 2 touches at half.
Coach B is saying, tell me why that is not a penalty. Tell me. He's going to the official right now, trying to get some type of clarification, but they're not going to answer his question.
But see, that's what I'm talking about for Clinton. They should have been happy just to not give Cheraw the football before half. All of a sudden, they changed the game plan. They're throwing the football, and Cheraw has way too many big playmen back there in the secondary. Murray, Rushton, Ash. They can turn it on you rather quickly, and they did. I think a tactical error from Clinton could cost them a big touchdown here before half.
That was really, it was just a basic in route, trying to pick up about 10 to 15 yards to keep the ball moving.
But what
the
purpose
ball
would
was
it
right
serve?
there. Yeah, they would have gotten a little closer.
They would have had the ball at the 40-yard line with 23 seconds left, and they still would have had to need one more play to get within field goal range. In high school, field goal is not guaranteed. I think it was an unnecessary gamble from Clinton, but Cheraw will take it. And now they've got the ball at the inch line. See if the quarterback, Jamie Huggins, keeps it himself. Huggins to McManus. There's the touchdown for Cheraw. Second touchdown of the game for Brian McManus. 13-zip Braves in the lead.
That's a big swing right there. To take the wind out of the Red Devil sails. Because Cheraw comes up with a big play. Why quarterback sneak it when you got number 4 back there? Give it to him, a nice little dance this way, to the left, to the right, and in the end zone for 6.
So Kenyatta Murray's interception sets up a McManus touchdown run, or excuse me, Rasheed Rushton interception sets up the touchdown run. Get Murray and Rushton confused. They're both excellent players, both play in that free safety position, both play wide receiver, both have an 8 in their number.
And both going to major colleges.
Yeah, they should indeed. In fact, like we mentioned, Rushton will probably play baseball, but he certainly could play football somewhere. Point after touchdown. Gainey was true on his first attempt. Gainey's kick is good. So Cheraw gets a touchdown just before half. They lead at 14-10 with 20 seconds to go. Braves are a half away from claiming the 3A state title. They lead at 14-0 with 20 seconds left to go here in the first half. Let's see if Gainey just squibs it downfield. He does. Taking at the 24. And no more. Maybe out to the 35-yard line. So now I'm sure Clinton will just fall on the football and go into the halftime locker room. Instead down 7-0, they go in down 14-zip.
I think they have learned their lesson after that last turnover and subsequent touchdown by the Braves. They need to reload, regroup, and try to figure out how they can gain a little momentum in this second half. They have had some spurts where they moved the ball well, but the Cheraw defense just come up with a big play.
And by getting up 14-0, it takes a little bit of the running away from Clinton, forces them maybe to go in the air and find a big play, and that's going to do it. The end of the first half. The Cheraw Braves and the faithful very excited because they lead it 14-0. Bryce Stadium, the 3A state championship high school football game. Cheraw leading Clinton 14-0. We're about to begin the third quarter. Cheraw will start on offense, and offensively in the first half, Wayne Harris. Cheraw looked very good, especially Brian McManus.
Brian McManus had 96 yards rushing in the first half. Total offense, Cheraw 151 yards, 96 yards for Clinton. 2 of 4 passes completed for Cheraw. For 18 yards, 0 for 6 with 1 interception for Clinton. But the big thing was the 2 turnovers. One led directly to the second touchdown for Cheraw. And now in the second half, Clinton will try to get their defense, to get their offense started, and to get the defense on track.
Cheraw to receive to begin the second half. They already lead it 14-0. James Grant back inside the 5. Doesn't get it out to the 20, mark it down to the 19-yard line. So Cheraw was able to move the ball effectively on the ground in the first half. Second half, hey, more of the same.
Unfortunately for the Red Devils, they have to come out on defense. You really want to, after a first half like that where you turn the ball over for a late score, you want your offense to be able to get a hold of the ball and see if they can set the tone. But now the Red Devil defense is going to have to see if they can rise to the occasion, stop Cheraw, keep them bottled up inside their own territory, and hope for a punt and get the ball in good field position.
And Cheraw can really make things difficult on Clinton if they can just march it right down the field. McManus fumbles the football. Excuse me, it's not McManus, but the ball comes free.
It's Philip Ash.
Philip Ash.
Well, that could have been a big one right there. Ash just comes over on the power play. He's got the ball with two hands on the ball, but as he reaches out to fend off the tacklers, one of the Clinton Red Devils gets his hand on the ball. Unfortunately for Cheraw, it bounces right back into Mr. Ash's waiting arm.
That could have been huge. Instead, it's just a 1-yard gain. 2nd down and 9.
Double tight ends in the wishbone formation for the Braves.
Inside handoff for a few, maybe 2 or 3 yards.
It looks like the Braves may be trying to lull the Red Devils to sleep. McManus has been on the field both times and given the ball to the other halfback, trying to set him up for something maybe later in this series.
So Robert Gillespie usually plays back there, is the starting halfback along with McManus, but Ash getting some playing time. He's done a good job defensively, Ash. He's the guy that set that big block that freed up Rushton on that interception return. 3rd down and 6. Now it's definitely Brian McManus territory. 2 tight ends in. They stay in the wishbone. McManus. 1st down and then some. Brian McManus off to the races. They've got an angle on him. They still can't bring him down, but the official will mark him out of bounds at the 25-yard line. So on 3rd down and 5, McManus breaks the big one, over 100 yards for the game already.
You saw that time Jeff Bingham take the left-hand side of that play, and by doing that, he put himself out of position because Brian McManus is coming off the left guard, and you'll see this play is coming right at you, right by our camera down the sideline. See if you can make the call.
Yep.
Yes, he does step out of bounds right there at the 25. Good call by the official that prevented another big play by Brian McManus.
Cheraw can fill the state title. They're up 14-zip and moving the football. Last year they left Williams-Brice disappointed, losing to Daniel. This year they've been on a mission. Their only loss of the season was to Hartsville way back in September. And Hartsville will be playing next in our doubleheader game as they go for the 4A state title. Ash tries the right side, but nothing's there. Strung out and brought down. Norris Dendy makes the stop for the Clinton Red Devils. But boy, Cheraw certainly has been focused all year. They've played exceptionally strong. Really did not play any real bad ball games all season long.
And like you said, the only blemish against their schedule is to one of the better teams in the state. And they probably played Hartsville just as good as any other 4A team in the state.
They played Hartsville better than any 4A team in their state has. An excellent football team, and they're proving it when it matters this afternoon. 9:35 to go in the 3rd quarter. Cheraw already up 14-zip. Staying in that wishbone double tight end formation and just grinding it out. Ash up the gut. Gets back to near the original line of scrimmage. That'll set up a 3rd down and long.
Nice hit that time by number 34, Doug Denny, from his inside linebacker position. He's a 6-foot, 100-pound junior who will be back next year for the Red Devils. Red Devils have a lot of juniors on this team. Also, Kelly Gary will be back to play in the backfield for another year. Now you get to have a good look at Coach Bernie Bourne sitting in a play with his all-state performer, Rasheed Rushton.
Well, Coach Bourne certainly goes hand in hand with Cheraw football, and no one wants that state title more than he does. See what he calls on 3rd down and 12. Rushton is the lone receiver. You think possibly 2-down territory because the wind will make it tough to kick a field goal. Huggins wants to throw to Rushton, crossing across the middle. He's open, but the pass is underthrown and then almost intercepted and dropped. He must have hung up there for what seemed like an eternity for Avery Austin, but he couldn't haul it in.
Watch the Red Devil defensive backs play bocce ball with this football. Rushton is behind him. Nice play by Avery Austin to get his hands on the ball. Also with a chance that is number 22, Steve Jenkins, who taps it back to Austin, who gets 2 more chances to catch it before it falls harmlessly on the Williams-Brice turf.
And the wind knocked that pass down a lot. It was a little bit underthrown, but the wind did knock it down. Rushton was open. Huggins did not get it there. They'll go for it. 4th and 12 from the 27. Murray and Rushton split to the bottom. Watch for McManus out of the backfield. Huggins under pressure rolls. Complete the Rushton, shy of the 1st down though. He's going to be just short of the 1st down. He needed to get inside the 15-yard line, so the pass is complete, but Clinton will get the football.
Nice pass this time. You'll see the same play we saw before. Rushton does an inside curl route, and that's the read for the quarterback. Kenyatta Murray was running the streak pattern down the sideline, had his hand up like he was open, but the free safety was there. Kelly Gary was there to guard Murray had he decided to throw the ball deep. He takes a shorter route, but unfortunately for the Braves, Rushton does not get enough yardage for the 1st down, so Clinton takes over.
So Brian McManus a half inch on the out-of-bounds stripe, or it would have been a touchdown. Instead, Clinton holds, and now 14-0. Clinton's still in the ball game. Gary, feet churning out to the 19, pick up a 3.
Plenty of time left in this ball game. Red Devils, have come a long way this year. They got an excellent team, and I'm sure they won't give up. Coach Andy Young will have those Red Devils. You see their fans right there getting behind them with a chance to win this ball game. They brought a huge contingent here from the upstate, and no time to turn back now.
They show the wishbone on 2nd down and 7. Give it to Doug Dendy. Not much.
So you're right now, the Cheraw defense is going to make a statement. They're making some big plays up front. Anthony Caraway and Maurice Miller. If you're the Red Devils, you better find another side to run on. You've got some 2 big bodies over there. Caraway 6'1", 193, and of course we've talked about Mr. Miller. He plugs up holes just by standing in them.
But then you try and go the other way, and there's big Kenny Price staring at you, all 6'4", 200 pounds of him, and Jeff Burr, who can get in there and throw some licks on you. So straight across the line, and really the entire defense for Cheraw is solid. The offense in McManus will get a lot of the headlines, but the defense certainly has been terrific all year long. 3rd and short. They'll try the screen pass, and it's dropped. Tried to get it out to Humper, and Humper could not hang on, and now Clinton will have to punt it away, so Cheraw should get pretty good field position. 3 plays and out.
Tried to run before he caught the ball, and Clinton, nothing going that time on offense, so the Braves defense makes a statement here. They got to get the ball back in good field position again.
Dennis Love back deep to return the punt for the Cheraw Braves, and don't want to keep harping on the win, but it is a big, swirling win, which makes it difficult to return punts, so it's not going to be easy for Love to haul this one in cleanly. Flag flies at the line of scrimmage. Low line drive kick. If it's against Cheraw, it will be a 1st down for Clinton. Love swarmed under at the 35, but hold on to everything until we check out the flag. Once again, if it is offsides on Cheraw, Clinton will retain possession because they do need just 4.5 yards for the 1st down.
The Cheraw defensive end caused the offensive end from Clinton to move. It's probably going to be a procedure penalty against Clinton, and Cheraw may be well served, but had them kick that ball over because it did take a real good bounce that time before Dennis Love was able to pick it up.
I think Cheraw and Coach Bernie Bourne will definitely decide to make them kick it again, and they will. So now they'll move the ball back to about the 16-yard line and try it again.
Let's remember early in the 1st half on Clinton's 1st punt, Kenny Prince got a real good rush. Might be a good chance to go in here and try for the block now.
And a smart kick, not sure whether he was doing that on purpose, Chris, but a line drive away from the receiver. And weather like this, with wind like that, a low line drive, you're going to get more out of a bounce than you are getting one in the air.
And the coverage team did a real good job back there. The Braves did not have a return on, so Dennis Love was back there working by himself. Let's see how much yards they gained. He was down last time at about the 40-yard line. Let's see if they gain any yardage on this penalty.
Nigel Crisp. Pressure on Price again and barely gets it away.
Price held up. He should have kept running for his foot.
Love inside Clinton territory down to the 42-yard line, so about a 25-yard penalty in the long run.
Nice pickup that time by Dennis Young. Kenny Prince, we just talked about that. He came through unblocked, and it looked like he was trying to time his jump to block the punt. When you're blocking a punt, you don't stop. You just keep going and you just aim for that punter's toe. That time Kenny Prince looked like he was in a good position to block that punt, but came up a little bit short.
So Cheraw has very good field position again at the 42-yard line, and of course when you've got a 14-0 lead, every second that goes off the clock is a positive. Right now, 6:19 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Cheraw has come out, and they have controlled the 2nd half.
Don't look for anything fancy from the Braves. They're going to line up in the wishbone, give the ball to McManus and Ash and Lewis, and just try to grind out the clock.
They'll go with that inside handoff to Ash, and Ash really hasn't found any running room at all.
There's a big difference between, nothing personal, Mr. Ash, but there's a big difference between you and Mr. McManus. Mr. McManus is able to make something every time he touches the ball. Strong leg drive. Of course, Mr. Ash is not near as big as Brian McManus.
Gillespie comes back in. Ash will go out. The lights have come on here at Williams-Brice Stadium as the dark clouds roll in. It gets near dusk in Columbia. Nice turnout on the Cheraw side of the field. Great to see the support the Braves have. They've had it all year. 2nd down and 12. McManus, right side's got a hole, still on his feet, down to the 36-yard line.
We saw a good picture that time as he cut through that hole. He just crouched down and got in behind his blockers. Tad Polson, also number 67, Derek McCray. You've seen this grab onto the hip of Polson. Pick his hole, also Rodney Lewis. That's just the mark of a real good back.
Don't forget, this is game 1 of a doubleheader still to come. Hartsville takes on Richland Northeast for the 4A state title. So the PD very well represented in Columbia this afternoon. On Friday night, Johnsonville was a winner in their state playoff game as they beat Buford 26-7. So chance for 3 local teams to claim state titles. Pitch to McManus. Can't quite turn the corner and doesn't get the first down. He had Polson out there blocking for him, but the pursuit from Clinton was way too much. Picks up about 3, and now decision time for Coach Bernie Bourne. It's going to be a 4th down and about 2 from the 34.
Kelly Gary from the free safety position, Avery Austin from his cornerback position really did a good job of stringing that play out. When you do that quick pitch, really all you've got, Tad Polson pulls from that onside tackle position, and he's really the only blocker McManus has got on that play, and that time Tad stood up straight up.
Coach Bourne has decided to go for it. With 4:24 left in the 3rd quarter, 4th and a deuce.
Look for some to the wide side of the field here.
Long count from Huggins trying to get the offsides, doesn't get it. McManus pops it to the outside, gets the first down, maybe. Depends on the spot. He needed to get inside the 32, and it looks like he has it from here, but then again, we're in the cheap seats, so it's hard to tell.
He looked like he had a nice lane to the outside, but the Clinton defense was pursuing quickly. So rather than risk getting strung out on that play, Brian made the decision to cut up and get the quick first down, which he did.
So they'll move the sticks, and the clock keeps moving. I mean, common sense says if the other team doesn't have the football, they can't score. So Cheraw might not have scored yet here in the 2nd half, but they've controlled the football, controlled the clock, and they've maintained that 14-0 lead.
All Wishbone teams really thrive on controlling the line of scrimmage, and we see Cheraw almost go exclusive with a double tight end set from the Wishbone in the 2nd half.
McManus picks up a couple. What Cheraw's trying to do there in that wishbone formation, when McManus is on the left side of the wishbone, they'll run to the right because he's got a fullback and an extra blocking back there in front of him. So there's really 3 men leading the way for McManus. Sometimes that causes congestion, but sometimes the way McManus can read blocks, it really springs them free.
All they're trying to do is just create some mismatches on whichever side of the ball they decide to run to. They're going to run right with McManus. They're trying to get the numbers over there to get the 2 backs out in front of him and hope for a good block from the tight ends. Maurice Miller and Kenny Prince are doing a real good job blocking.
2nd and 9 from the 30. Straight ahead, McManus. He gets about 3. Clinton's done a good job occasionally of stopping McManus, but you can never really completely slow him down.
On the big play, on the big run he had just a little while ago, it's baffling to see how he gets out sometimes. It looks like he's bottled up with just his athletic ability and his strong leg drive and good balance as he has. And that's what makes the mark of a good runner. You don't score 33 touchdowns being a shabby running back.
Not at all. He's over 2,000 yards for the year. 3rd down. They'll try Gillespie, and he won't get it. It was 3rd and 6. He got maybe 2, if that. So once again, it's going to be another 4th down situation for Cheraw. I'm sure they'll go for it one more time. Still out of field goal range for Gainey.
We saw them in the first Myrtle Beach game during the regular season on a long control drive where they took 2 or 3 different 4th down situations because of the fact that they had the confidence in that running attack. They know they'd get 3 to 4 yards every time they cracked the line of the scrimmage. And that's what they're going to have to get this time. They're going to have to get a good 4 yards to pick up this first down.
Excuse me, Lane. The Braves need to hurry. Took some time getting that play in. Clinton really needs to hold them here if they want to get back in the ball game. Trailing 14-0. 4th down and 5. They'll give it to the fullback who doesn't get the first down. Rodney Lewis picks up only 2, so Clinton holds again.
52, Jeff Bingham from his nose guard position. And also 31, Kelly Gary from the free safety come up to make the hit. And 21, Darrell Young, the 6'2", 182-pound senior. We've seen twice in a row now. Clinton stopped Cheraw down deep with the back against the wall, but they have been unable to muster anything offensively. And Cheraw will play this game the rest of the night.
And Cheraw will be very happy to keep that football on the Clinton side of the field, no doubt about it. And you see Cheraw, ball control, keeping it on the ground, not doing anything high risk. Inside handoff, not there. Norris Dendy picks up a few. But that Cheraw defense really has been tough here in the second half.
Right now is where the Cheraw defense starts to shine. You have these big bodies up front, Prince, Burr, Miller, LaRon Williams, who right now they're just going to hit and they're going to read. They're going to follow the ball, and any amount of counter traps, as we saw that time by Norris Denny, little misdirection plays are not going to fool them because they see this state title is right in front of them, and they're going to play their hearts out to get it.
Martin splits down to the bottom of the screen. Richie Boyd up to the top. They'll throw it to Martin, who makes the catch in front of Devin Love and may have the first down. It's going to be close depending on the spot.
That's what the Red Devils have to do. Cheraw right now is starting to jam up that line of scrimmage. They've got to open up their attack a little bit, try to diversify their offense, and make Cheraw think of something else besides the run, because Cheraw's got their run pretty much bottled up. They've got to make these safeties and cornerbacks start backpedaling, so they're thinking less about run support and more about getting burned.
It is a first down, 25 seconds left in the third quarter. Clinton shows the eye, give it to the fullback, and get nothing. Once again, Rock Williams is there. The nose guard has done a terrific job of standing up the center and clogging up the middle.
Also, Jamar Esau, number 84 in there for Jeff Furr at that defensive tackle position. Also made first contact with LaRon Williams. Here you'll see the little counter play coming up the middle by Moses. Jamar Esau to him first. Rock Williams around the ankle to make the tackle. He's going nowhere.
So it's in the hands of the Cheraw defense. The Braves lead at 14-0. The state title is 12 minutes away. We'll be right back. Clinton Red Devils down 14-0 to the Cheraw Braves. 12 minutes left in the football season. And it's that close right now for Cheraw, but they cannot stop right now. They've got to keep the intensity up.
I'm sure the Clinton Red Devils have scored more than 14 points in a quarter. And Coach Bernie Bowen and the Cheraw Braves are not going to give up until this is well into the bag.
Young wants to throw on second and long. Under pressure, just has to dump it away. Maurice Miller was there.
Also Anthony Caraway. When Maurice Miller's breathing down your neck, you better get rid of the ball. Because if he hits you and falls on you, you're hurt. Cheraw defense, there's a good look at the group right there. These guys have done a great job all year. And it looks like it's going to pay off for them.
Third down and 9. Three receivers. First time we've seen three wideouts in the game for Clinton. It's almost desperation time, down 14-0. Young, screen pass to Gary. Runs away from Williams, but not completely, down at the 30. Terrific read by Rock.
That play had no chance of going anywhere. Maurice Miller came from his defensive tackle position. He got up in the face of Mark Young. And as soon as Rock Williams read the play, he was over there to snuff out Gary for no gain.
So the Cheraw defense comes through strong again. And once again, Nigel Crisp is going to have to punt it away.
They're dancing in the street.
Dennis Love back deep. Pressure again, and again he gets it away. Nice high kick. Love at the 31. Doesn't call for the fair catch. He should have. He gets swarmed under. But hangs on to the football. That's what's most important. And Cheraw offense takes over now with 11:06 to go.
Looks like he might have fumbled this ball after the initial contact from the defensive players. Look at here. Now, he had a good grip on the ball, but the best call right there was to fair catch the ball and avoid any type of contact, because if you turn the ball over right there, you put Clinton right back in the game.
Take no chances. Huggins under center has played a solid football game as usual for Cheraw. Gives it to McManus. Off the left side, picked up a couple of yards. And Jamie Huggins is a solid quarterback for this team. When they ask him to throw, he can come up with the big play, and he's real solid in making proper decisions and running the option and just being a leader out there on the field.
We've seen 0 turnovers, if I'm not mistaken, by the Cheraw Brave offense, and that's directly attributable to the quarterback because he handles the ball the most. There's a good look at Jamie right there. Senior going for the big state championship game, and he makes good decisions. He pitches the ball, he gets the ball where McManus and the other backs can handle it, and doesn't make stupid plays. And that's what you want out of a senior quarterback, is just sound, solid play.
Clock continues to run. Second down and 9. Ash trying to pop it to the outside. Gets strung out, face mask, as Norris Dendy got the hand on the helmet and ripped down the mask, so it's going to be an extra 15 yards tacked on to this one. So Cheraw will continue to move the football, move the clock, and move closer to a 3A state title.
Looks like the Braid Faithful on the other side of the field are really starting to feel it now. Sounds like they've got Pepsi cans with about 4 quarters in them over there. And they're shaking them hard as they can go. And you see Ash with a stiff arm. Dendy counters with a face mask. And that's a no-no.
Couldn't really tell from that angle, but there was a face mask on there. Cheraw will take it. Football marked up to the 46-yard line. Well, the PA system, I don't know if you heard it, Northwestern beats Gaffney 2-0.
Pitch the shutout.
Pitch the shutout. Of course, you're seeing this on Sunday. That could be a misprint, and your paper may have the right score, but Northwest Gaffney, an explosive offense. We saw them in the game of the week against Soxby, put up 35 points like it was no big whoop, and they get shut out by Northwestern. And I tell you what, that's good news for Hartsville if that's true, because Gaffney was ranked #1 in the state. Now, Hartsville can win Game 2 of our doubleheader, win the state 4A title. Hartsville should get some national recognition and possibly be ranked in USA Today's top 25.
The table's set for the Red Foxes, but I'm like you, I have a hard time seeing how that Gaffney offense gets shut out. These two teams met early in the year, and it was a 13-12 slugfest. 2-0. I have a hard time believing that. That's the kind of game I'd like to see, though.
Well, the crowd was a little shocked, but Cheraw right now doesn't care about Northwestern or Gaffney. They care about themselves, and they're moving the football. 2nd down and 8. Under 9 minutes to go. Huggins almost didn't get the handoff in there.
Well, Bernie Bowen really doesn't want a mistake right here. A mishandled snap or a mishandled exchange from the quarterback to a running back to get Clinton back in this game. Right now, their offensive line has got control of the line of scrimmage, and all they're doing now is just chewing clock. And if they can continue at this pace, this game's over.
Well, Brian McManus, typical over 150 yards for the afternoon, closing in on 200. They haven't asked Huggins to throw much. He's done enough throwing to loosen up the Clinton linebackers a little bit. Gillespie for the first down, won't get it. Piled up near midfield, thrown back, so it's going to be a 4th down and about 3 or 4. And now Cheraw, you'd think, would have to punt this one away.
Yeah, that would be the call. The punter is coming into the game. It's Gainey. And they're going to try to pin Clinton down, make him go a long way to pick up a score.
Well, Clinton's got to score within the next 3 or 4 minutes. They've got to score in this possession to get back into the football game. But I'll tell you what's a big key, and it gets overlooked sometimes. If Clinton does make a run to try and get back in this football game, Gainey made both extra points, and that really is a positive because we've seen so many games this year where missed extra points have come back to haunt teams, but Gainey has made both, so it's 14-0.
The Red Devil head coach Andy Young felt coming into the game if they had any edge over Cheraw, it wasn't a kicking game. But unfortunately for the Red Devils, they haven't been able to kick. They haven't had a field goal attempt and no touchdowns to kick extra points. The punting game has been a good job. Nigel Crisp has done a good job keeping Cheraw pinned back in their territory with his punting game. But if they can't score, it's not going to be much of a game. And now they're going to have to pass the ball. And I'm really surprised that they didn't try to pass more. And talking with the offensive coordinator before the game, they really felt they could throw the ball against Cheraw, but they haven't really done it.
Bone gets it away. Nice kick taken inside the 10. And dropped inside the 5.
Guess who?
Kenyatta Murray. Defensive special teams play.
He'd have been best served, let that ball hit and bounce away, Mr. Gary, because Kenyatta Murray has got you hog-tied.
Well, normally anytime you are back returning punts and you're inside the 10, you should let the ball go into the end zone. But Clinton with Gary back there's got to be thinking big play. They've got to gamble a little bit.
Well, the only gamble was that. It was who was going to tackle him, because there were 6 Cheraw Braves downfield in coverage and no Red Devils down there to block for him.
So Clinton's got their hands full, down 14-0, 7 minutes left in the football game, and all they needed to go is 96 yards.
They've got a lot of confusion on offense. They've lined up in the wrong formation. They're just now getting into the play.
3 receivers in, the quick hit. And Dennis Love is there playing the defense, and there's no gain on the play. They tried that pop pass to Richie Boyd, and it picks up nothing. Love's not going to bite on it.
The only thing Love bit on was number 33's number. Nice takedown. Jeff Caraway and also Gene Crawford from the inside linebacker position.
Think back to some of the big plays in this football game, and right now the biggest play has got to be first quarter. Cheraw punting from their own 5-yard line. Bone fumbles the snap. Could have been a disaster. Could have sent Clinton up for a touchdown. Instead, Bone keeps it, runs out of trouble, gets a first down. That's a huge play. Young throws. They try another screen pass to Gary. That falls incomplete. And that's a lot of respect for the defensive line of the Cheraw Braves, considering where Clinton's at field position-wise. They don't want to drop back into the end zone and try and throw out of there, so they're trying to throw the quick screen passes.
From what I've seen today of the Red Devils passing offense, they just don't have the versatility to pass against the Cheraw Braves secondary. Of course, the Cheraw Braves secondary probably has a lot to do with that because they have some very good athletes back there. Murray, Love, also Rushton playing great games. Robert Gillespie and Gene Crawford in the linebacker positions. That whole defense for the Braves has just done a great job today.
Over the middle and almost intercepted. Two guys could have had it. Gillespie thought he had it. Crawford thought he had it, and it ends up falling incomplete.
We hadn't called Gene's name a lot tonight until recently, but he had that one. He had 6 points locked up.
After the ball game, we'll be talking with head coach Bernie Bourne, who is 6 minutes and 12 seconds away from a 3A state title. Nigel Crisp has been the busiest Clinton Red Devil of all, the punter. 2 yards from the back of the end zone. Price is there again, and he finally blocks it for the safety. He's been there all night knocking on the door, and he finally knocks the punt away, and it's a safety for Price.
I think if you see this on a replay, he doesn't stop this time. He goes all out for the toe of the kicker, whereas before he's kind of pulled up, all out. That's what you got to do, Mr. Kenny Prince. That'll get you 2 points every time. This is the third time he's been in there for the block. Third time's the charm.
And now Cheraw and their fans can really feel it. Up 16-0 with 6:06 to go, and they'll get the football back.
It's time for the celebration to start. And if you look over at the Cheraw sidelines right now, you see a lot of the starters over there getting involved in it. The crowd's got the hoop where it is. There it is, cheer going. And the Cheraw Braves look like they're going to win the state championship with a 3A level.
It began in the heat of August to here the first weekend of December, still playing, still alive, and about to become champions.
It's got to be just a great feeling for these kids. They've worked hard their whole high school career. Coach Bourne and his staff have really put together a great season. The only blemish, lost to an extremely tough Hartsville team. There is no doubt that they are the best 3A team in the state.
They began the season by beating Marlboro County, no easy task in that, and they'll end the season possibly with a victory over Clinton. Nice return by James Grant up near midfield to the 49-yard line.
I was looking for the second teamers to come out there, but it looks like Coach Bourne's not going to take any chances.
No, not yet. Still 6 minutes to go. 2 touchdowns and two-point conversions tied up.
I think the Red Devils just do not have any momentum, have not been able to establish any consistency in their offensive patterns today, and their passing game has been completely shut down by the Cheraw Braves.
McManus looking for 200 yards of offense. Turns the corner.
Stay in bounds.
And down to the 36-yard line. Another big pickup for McManus, 15 yards.
But it didn't look like that play was going to do anything. It looked like the Red Devils had that play strung out. But Brian just hits the corner, wide open, and turns that speed on. He's going to make some college a very exciting back next year.
A lot of seniors on Bernie Bourne's roster at the key positions. Jamie Huggins, the quarterback. Brian McManus, Mr. Touchdown. Rushton and Murray are both seniors. Maurice Miller is a senior. This was the year he thought he could win a state title, and he's about to. McManus with the few. Clock continues to run. That's the important thing. Under 5:30 now. Huggins is down. Looks like he's shaken up a little bit. So the senior quarterback now as the clock stops, and they'll come out to check out Jamie Huggins. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be back at Williams-Brice Stadium. Cheraw leading at 16-zip. Quarterback gets it to McManus, and he's gone. Touchdown, Brian McManus.
That was easy enough. Nolan comes in for the assist. McManus goes over 200 yards for the day. Third touchdown of the night. And Cheraw puts a lock on the 3A state championship.
What Clinton tried to do was pile up over center and force Nolan to fumble the football on the center exchange. It didn't work. They give the ball to McManus, who breaks free, and one away from McManus to wrap up a brilliant career. 35 touchdowns for the season in 15 games. That is remarkable. It's 22-0 Cheraw.
That's got to put him on some All-American list somewhere. Those are some impressive stats. Over 2,500 yards for the year, 35 touchdowns. It's a huge number.
Nolan holds for Gainey, who makes the extra point. Cheraw has scored. They lead 23-0. The Braves are indeed beating the devil out of Clinton. They lead at 23-0. Clinton returns the kick up to the 27-yard line. But now it's celebration time for Cheraw. They can sit back here for the final 5 minutes, reflect back on this football game, on the season, and realize that they are going to be the 3A state champs of South Carolina.
First teamers are still in there for Coach Bernie Bourne. Coach, let the little guys play for a while.
And they want that shutout. Going for the shutout in the state title game. Cheraw considered the favorite coming in, but Clinton has a good football team, and I'm sure a lot of people thought this would be close. Screen pass out to Austin. Austin fumbles it away out of bounds. And that works for Clinton because it'll give him a first down.
I don't know who this was. I think it was number 85, Anthony Caraway. Nice pop that time for Mr. Caraway.
Clock stops, 4:38 to go.
Here's a good look at Anthony. He's a 6'1", 193-pound senior who may play a little college ball. Pretty good athlete. Anytime you play on a state championship team, you always get a look at from a lot of different coaches, and may end up playing somewhere.
Young, fly pattern, Love with the coverage. And then Murray throws the shoulder in for good measure. Guess you can say he made Clinton feel his pain. Been saving that one all night.
Young hangs this ball way up to a nice athletic jump, though, that time by Avery Austin. But when you jump and lose your feet that time, it leaves you no defense against Kenyatta Murray slamming one into you.
And it took me 3.5 quarters to make a Clinton joke, so be happy. I had a lot of them in store, and I dropped most of them. 4:31 to go. 23-zip Cheraw, 2nd and 10 for Clinton. Option. Gary, hit by Love, stays on his feet and gets up near the 50, and that's going to put him close to a first down, but the clock continues to run as he stays in bounds.
Nice read that time on the option. That time Young comes down the line of scrimmage. Option's a tight end Caraway. Caraway makes a nice play to even force the pitch. But Gary, just with good balance, he's piled up about 1,400 yards this year in offense, rushing the ball, another 300 to 400 yards catching the ball. So he puts up some good numbers this year for the Red Devils.
Clinton wants to call a timeout with 4:23 left. We'll be right back to Williams-Brice Stadium. Cheraw in control, leading at 23-0. Well, Clinton has run into a very good Cheraw team. They trail 23-0. Right now, the Red Devils simply want to get on the board to avoid the embarrassment of a shutout.
Well, they came into the game with a very potent offense. I mean, they put up similar numbers that Cheraw did this year, so you don't think they're going to get shut out, but the Cheraw defense has had a lot to do with that.
Mark Young, the quarterback, keeps it, picks up 8.
Here's a good look at Mark Young coming down the line of scrimmage on the option. The Braves string it out, so he takes it up inside and picks up good yardage. Coach's son.
Now under 4 minutes. 3:56 and counting to a state title for Cheraw. Quick hit. Ball's incomplete. Tried to hit Barry Martin.
The Clinton receivers just have not had any rhyme or rhythm this whole game. They a couple of times they bumped into each other. The routes they've run just have not seemed to have any consistency to them, and therefore Mark Young has never really been able to get his passing attack jump-started today, as the Clinton coaches wanted to. They wanted to be able to throw the ball against Cheraw to force them to make some changes in their defensive patterns.
They'll try the delay, close to a first down. I think they got it. And then Cheraw just wants them to keep that clock moving. It is a first down. And I'm sure the Cheraw defense is thinking right now, look, we've played exceptionally well the entire ballgame. Let's not give up a cheap touchdown now. Let's get that shutout. The rains have stayed away at Williams-Brice Stadium. As I mentioned, the wind has been rather brisk throughout the ballgame. Predicted rain did not come. We may see it in the second game of our doubleheader. Hartsville takes on Richland Northeast. That's coming your way right after this Cheraw Clinton 3A state title game. Young's got time, got a man, Martin. First down to the 25. Dennis Love makes the stop.
That's only the third pass they've completed this game. The other two were very quick screen passes and out patterns to the wide receivers. That's the first pass we've seen Barry Martin get involved in, the 6'3", 180-pound senior. And he is a major cog, is their leading receiver. And it's unfortunate for the Red Devils that with 3 minutes to go in the game is when he catches his first pass.
Now the Cheraw defense will look to stiffen up on Young. Screen pass. No, he's going to go deep over the middle and incomplete. And I'll tell you why I thought it was a screen pass. There was so much pressure on Young, I thought it was designed for a screen, but actually what it was just terrific pressure from the Cheraw defense.
Maurice Miller and LaRon Williams and Jeff Furr all up in Young's face that time.
They blew right through the line of scrimmage. Put a lot of pressure on Young, and Young, when he has tried to pass, has had pressure on him the entire game. So it'll be a disappointing trip back to the upstate for Clinton, but not for Cheraw. And in this wind and the cold, trust me, those guys are very brave.
Nice one.
Thank you very much. 2nd and 10. They try and squeeze it into Martin again. Incomplete. Rushton with the defensive pressure. Of course, Rushton with that huge interception just before half. And that really turned the ball game around.
Yeah, it would have been a very close defensive struggle. It's possibly a 7-0 first half where it's anybody's ball game. But the big play by Rushton where he runs the ball all the way back to the 6-inch line.
I have a feeling Clinton will be reliving that play for the next couple of months.
Just unfortunately, it's just a badly thrown ball, overthrown slightly, that slipped through the receiver's hands, and Rushton's just in the right place at the right time.
To the end zone, Young looking for Martin. Incomplete. He was open. He beat Murray and Love to the corner, but the pass was too long, and it sets up a 4th down and 10. Last gasp for Clinton with 2:42 left in the football game.
The party is really starting over there on the Cheraw sideline. They are rocking.
Option play. Ball thrown away by Gary. Young falls on it at the 20 and then gets swarmed under by a bunch of blue jerseys. And Cheraw will take over at the 44-yard line, run out the clock, and then claim a state title. And the Clinton faithful, give credit to them on the Clinton side of the field, giving a standing ovation. Some fans giving standing ovation to the Clinton Devils. What a terrific season. But on the other side, we're not worthy, is the cry from the Braves fans. Of course, Wayne's World 2 opens up next week in the theater near you, so that craze will begin all over again. The tomahawk chop, the Seminole chant. McManus fumbles. He's not perfect. He's pretty close to it, but he's not perfect, and Clinton recovers with 2:07 to go.
He's done everything else right today. That's the first mistake we've seen him make. Trying to run out the clock. That ball pops up out of a toaster. Somebody must have got their helmet right on top of that.
And you know what? McManus has had a brilliant career. He's going to win a state title. He's rushed for over 2,300 yards, has 35 touchdowns, and odds are his last carry will be a fumble.
I think he'll have many more carries after today's game.
Last high school carry will be a fumble. Well, Clinton will try again to get in the end zone. Clock running, $1:53. Young. Love is the only man who can catch it, and he does. Intercepted by Cheraw's Dennis Love, and he's got some green in front of him. He's played a strong game. Why not get a touchdown? Cuts it back, still on his feet. Dennis Love down inside the 40. Good for him. He deserves it. He's played a terrific football game.
He has really played a good down and dirty football game, doing a great job of run support. And like you said, he was the only one who was going to catch this ball. And to watch this little 5'7", 156-pound cat back, head up the sideline, and cut back into where the big guys are, and all of a sudden he says, I'd better lay down right here.
He is the punt return specialist, so you know he can return it. So now Cheraw can protect the football, throw on the ball, and call it a state title. See if they give it to McManus one more time here, if he can redeem himself one last time. 1:15 left in the football game. 23-0 Cheraw.
Jamie's just going to go on a knee right here.
And Clinton won't call a timeout. We'll have to fall down at least 2 more times. We'll talk with Coach Bernie Bourne after the ball game. And now Terry McClendon, 77, will check in, get some playing time here in the state title game. Congratulations now for Coach Bourne on the sidelines. He's a state champ. Last year he got to the title game, lost to Daniel. This year he can claim #1.
Hey, Coach, watch out for that Gatorade behind you. I'm telling you, you better keep an eye on your back. I think it's coming. That's a good way to get away from it. Run down on the field.
So a timeout down on the field with 51 seconds to go. Coach Bernie Bourne on the verge of a state title, leading at 23-0.
It's an excellent season this year for the Cheraw Braves. Hats off to their fans. The whole community has really been abuzz all week in preparation for this game. They came into the game as a favorite. But Clinton, as we spoke earlier, Clinton was really amassed the same amount of numbers, so you had to feel like it was going to be a close game. But Cheraw was able to establish their running game early, and Cheraw's defense just simply outplayed Clinton's defense. Yeah, I see the players over there gathering around the Gatorade jug as Bernie Bourne comes back over to the sideline.
Yeah. Huggins will fall on it. He'll need to do it 2 more times. There's 50 seconds left in the football game. He falls down. Now the excitement takes place on the sidelines where Coach Bourne will try and avoid the Gatorade bath. 43 seconds. Clock continues to tick. McManus, 3 touchdowns, over 200 yards rushing for Cheraw today. Rushton had a big interception, and now Clinton will call a timeout with 36 seconds left. We'll take a timeout and be right back for the Cheraw celebration right after this. Celebration has begun on the Cheraw sidelines. A state championship for Coach Bernie Bourne and the gang. 36 seconds left. Jamie Huggins needs to sit down one more time. .30 seconds left in the football game. 4th down, and Cheraw losing only once this season. That coming to Hartsville. One of the better teams to really, when you compare them to teams in the past, Cheraw has got to be ranked right up there.
A lot of talent on there, on both sides of the ball for Cheraw.
Well, that's going to do it. The countdown is on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cheraw, state champs, 3A. We'll be right back to talk to Coach Bernie Bourne right after this. So 23-0, Cheraw gets the victory. And Coach, kind of the same formula you had all year, keeping the ball on the ground, and Brian McManus was spectacular again.
Right, we felt like going in that we were a little bigger than they were up front. And just wanted to give the ball to McManus and try to establish control of the line of scrimmage. Our offensive line played very well today, and what can you say about Brian? He did the same things today that he's been doing all season long, had a great game. Felt like we played real well defensively.
Rushton, big interception right before halftime, set up McManus the 2nd touchdown.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest single play in the game. think that it hurt Clinton. It gave us a lot of confidence going in at the half, too. It gave us a lot of breathing room. We could relax a little bit. And I think, coming back out in the second half, that was probably the single biggest play in the game, to play in early in the first half when we had the bad snap on the punt. And, punter took off and picked up the first down was a big play also.
It all starts way back in the heat of August. And here we are in December. Makes it even better, doesn't it?
Yeah, all the hard work. I'm so happy for these kids. We came down here last year and got the Lord beat out of us, and this group of kids said going home last year that they were going to come back and win it this time, and I can't describe how proud of them I am for doing that.
Well, Coach, I think they got a trophy for you over there. Congratulations, state champs for 1993.
Thank you.
Much deserved. Bernie Bourne, excellent season for the Cheraw Braves. It ends with a 23-0 victory. He mentioned how dominant McManus was, but you know what? We're not done yet. Coming your way in a couple of seconds, Hartsville gets ready to go for the state title. Lane, can we get a PD sweep today?
I think so. Hartsville Red Foxes are definitely favored in this game. High-powered, potent offense, more big play potential on offense, big players on defense and on offense. It's going to be a great game. Stick around.
Yeah, stay tuned. Richland Northeast and Hartsville State 4A titles on the line next.
South Carolina.
The sun has set, the jackets are on, we're ready for game 2 of our doubleheader. The state 4A Division II title on the line, Hartsville Red Foxes against Richland Northeast. Hi everybody, I'm Bob Mahalik along with Lane Harris, and about this same time last year, Hartsville made the trek to Williams-Brice Stadium. Similar situation, they were unbeaten, but they lost to USC Aiken in the fourth quarter. That's really been on the back of their minds all season long.
Coach Louis Lineberger has led his Red Foxes through an undefeated season with the intent goal of getting back to this game. They are here, and they will settle for nothing less, as will their fans, as the state championship.
Now, Hartsville was expected to be here. Richland Northeast, kind of a Cinderella story.
They won their last 7 games, so they really are a team on a roll. They knocked off a very tough Lancaster team, but the Cavaliers are not content just to be here. They are going to try to keep this, catch this Red Fox team, not anticipating them and not really expecting a lot out of them. So look for the Cavaliers to have a lot of success early.
Well, as you might expect, there's a huge Hartsville contingent here. They're set to kick it off. We're set to kick it off. The 4A Division II title game is next. On a mission, trying to be the Cinderella team of 4A and stop the Foxes. Can anyone stop the Foxes? We'll find out in a couple of seconds. The Cavaliers, like the heavyweight champs, a little late in arriving, playing psychological games with the Hartsville Red Foxes. Hartsville's already out in the field awaiting the kickoff. Hartsville did win the toss, and they will receive. That puts Hartsville on offense first. Here comes Richland Northeast. The Cavaliers. 7 straight victories coming into the ball game. And they look to have the momentum as they take on Hartsville, but Hartsville's won 14 in a row. Their last loss right here at Williams-Brice Stadium last year at this time in the state 4A Division II title game.
You stack up the Hartsville Red Foxes' record over the last 2 years, and the only game they've lost in the last 2 years was last year here in the state finals against Aiken. And they've come here for revenge tonight. And the Red Foxes feel confident. They've had a strong season, and this is the moment they've been working for all year long. And Richland Northeast better get off quick, or they got to run into a buzzsaw.
Not only is Hartsville playing for the Division II 4A title, but Coach Louis Lineberger's team can play for the #1 ranking overall in the state because Gaffney lost their playoff game. Also on the line, potentially, a top 25 ranking in USA Today. So a lot on the line for Hartsville. For Richland Northeast, the Cavaliers just want to surprise everyone and get the state title. Like you mentioned at the top of the show, being here is great for Richland Northeast, but you talk to the coaches, they're really not just content with being here. They want to win. They think they can win, but they do know they have to play a practically perfect football game to beat the Red Foxes.
Trey Hurd, their quarterback, can pile up some pretty impressive passing stats. And Jay Thier, their fullback and linebacker, is a very strong athlete headed to the Shrine Bowl this year.
The championship game is underway. Neil Brown with the burst of speed up the middle and up to the 40-yard line. So a terrific start for the Hartsville Red Foxes. Neil Brown gives the Hartsville offense terrific field position, and that offense can certainly move the football. Jacob Shoemate at the helm, 21 touchdown passes this year. Marcus Martin is the tailback. Willie Austin, good out of the backfield as a receiver. The line up front, they are very strong. Steve Minus gets the start at guard. Marcus Turner and Terry Frazier on the outside. And the receivers, led by Calvin Moses, very talented tight end, and Neil Touchdown Brown. From the I formation, first play of the football game from the line of scrimmage, it's the 41. Shoemate to the air right away. Has his man open, Pendergrass. He's going to go for a touchdown on the first play of the football game. Are you kidding me?
What a start to the game. Jacob Shoemate looks for a quick out pattern, but the defensive secondary countered, so Jacob holds the ball, Pendergrass cuts upfield, and it's see ya.
Over 6,000 strong in the Hartsville side of the field, making a lot of noise. It took exactly 10 seconds from the line of scrimmage for the Hartsville Red Foxes to get into the end zone. Here's Brian Gorney, has not missed a point after touchdown the entire season. He's still perfect. Hartsville, just like that, leads at 7-0. We'll be back to Williams-Brice in a moment. Hartsville, very good. We've played 37 seconds of football. They lead at 7-0.
It's the offense. We were talking at the break. You know, Shoemate's a great quarterback, but you've got to have great receivers to go with it. He's got 3 great ones.
And they've got an excellent kicker in Gorney who boots it out of the end zone. So Richland Northeast will start at the 20-yard line. You talked about Richland's Northeast. Trey Hurd at the top of the show. Quarterback can throw the ball well. In fact, has better numbers than Jacob Shoemate. 2 300-pounders on that line, including 62, Cheraw Moore. Keep an eye on him. And when they go to the air, they do have a good set of receivers. Gresham, Terry, and McNutt. Keep your eye on number 22, Leon Terry. He's a good one. Hartsville defense. There is no better defense in the state. They have been dominating throughout the season and the playoffs. Richland Northeast out of the I formation. Pitch on the first play of the football game for them. Jackson is there defensively for Hartsville. Thomas Williams, a 1,000-yard rusher, picks up 2 on first down. The Hartsville defense, they deserve all the praise they get. Randy McPhail, the nose guard, is one of the best in the state. Robert McPhail, Steve Toops, Marcus Turner, and Lorenzo Jackson. Linebackers, Jody Codwell. He definitely will play Division I football next year. And Antonio Prescott. Secondary, Neil Brown, Calvin Moses, Larry Mack, and Lamont Wilson. There is no weakness in the Hartsville defense whatsoever.
That's one of the things that the Cavalier coaches were concerned about. Usually they try to break down tape and find a weakness, an area you can attack. Hartsville has none, according to the Cavalier coaches.
2nd and 8. Try and go to the air. The screen pass read by Brown, who body slams him down at the 10. A 5-yard loss and 2 points for the takedown. Hartsville just a little fired up in the first couple of minutes of this football game.
They're right over there in front of the Red Fox fans, and they are just feeding off the energy coming from the 6,000 throng over there. That pass was very close to being intercepted. Of course, Neil Brown wasn't looking for the interception. He was looking for the defensive stop, and he got it.
Well, I think Hartsville has come out and established themselves. They scored on the very first play from scrimmage. On the second play from scrimmage, they do a little body slamming. Richland Northeast facing a 3rd and 10 from the 20. Draw play. Williams does not come close to the first down, and the Cavaliers will have to punt it away 3 plays and out.
Here we see some of those big offensive linemen from Richland Northeast. Starting in the place of Daniel Mado, is number 76, Henry Saunders. Daniel Mado has been nursing a sore ankle. These guys will have to do a lot better blocking if they're going to establish anything offensively against the Red Fox defense.
Well, they're big, but the Red Foxes are big and quick, and that could be the difference in the game. Coe's back deep to return. Lets it take a bounce. Rolls inside the 40 down to the 37-yard line. So here comes Hartsville on offense again. Last time it was 1 play and a quick 6.
Well, whatever the Hartsville coaches saw that they could take advantage of on the offense, it looks like they're going to try to loosen up the Cavalier defense via the pass. The Cavaliers run a 4-3 defense, so they got 7 people on the line of scrimmage. Coach Wingard said if they had trouble stopping the run, they would come in with an additional linebacker and run a 4-4 package. But right now, they got to worry about stopping the Hartsville, period.
Shoemate under center, Austin and Martin in the backfield. Give to Austin, the fullback. Drags a couple of white jerseys forward for about 3 yards. Hartsville has the complete offensive package. Austin, good bruising fullback, good on short yardage, good blocker, and good coming out of the backfield to catch. Martin, your typical tailback, good quickness, has breakaway potential, and a talented group of receivers for Shoemate, including Neil Brown and Kelvin Moses, Mac Thompson, and of course the man who leads the way, Jacob Shoemate at quarterback.
Lineberger really does a good job of spreading out the offense. You don't have one dominant back, you have several backs that get good yardage.
A terrific individual defensive effort from Richland Northeast because 75 Jody Caldwell was pulling, and watch Caldwell get popped and not make his block. 75 gets knocked back into the play. That is terrific defense.
Number 86, Willis Langley's a 6'1", 185-pound senior. He's one of the second leading tackler on the team. 80 tackles, he's caused 5 fumbles. Now we're seeing the Richland Northeast defense pick up the pace a little bit here, 3rd and long.
I've never seen anyone knock Caldwell back off his feet.
That's a first for us this year.
8:18 to go in the first quarter, 3rd down and 7.
Here come the linebackers.
The blitz is on. Shoemate trying to set up the screen, doesn't have time.
There's Jay Thier. There's your Shrine Bowl selection coming from his middle linebacker position. That was an all-out blitz that time by the Cavaliers. As soon as Shoemate turned around from his play fake, there he is. Jay Thier is all over him and prevents this pass from even coming close to being completed.
Shoemate does a good job to avoid the sack and just get rid of it, so the Cavalier defense comes up with the hold. You know, we saw this in the Hartsville-Dillon game where the offenses got on the board quickly, and then that was it. Hartsville eventually beat Dillon 7-6. Some people will say that ball game in the first weekend of November was the state championship game, but don't tell that to Richland Northeast. Gorney, good line drive kick, takes a terrific bounce and goes down to the 10-yard line, so everything going Hartsville's way early, and similar to the first game where Cheraw was a victor in their ball game. Brian Gorney, the punter, keeping the ball low because of the wind is just as bad as it was in that first game.
It's a very swirling wind, and I don't know if Gorney tried to do that, but he definitely took advantage of the low kick, got a nice bounce, and he kicked the ball away from the receiver. If you kick that ball to the receiver, he can still pick it up on the bounce and pick up good yardage because your coverage is not there yet, but he kicked it away from the punt returner.
So the Hartsville defense now has Richland Northeast pinned inside the 20, marked at the 10.5-yard line from the I formation, 2 split to the near side. On the ground with Williams. Williams picks up about 3. McPhail there to make the stop. Randy McPhail.
Jody Caldwell also in there from his linebacker position. This Hartsville defense, we've seen it 4 times this year, and they get better and better. It's very difficult to score on them. They've only given up 7 TDs in 14 games, an average of 110 yards per game, less than 2 yards per carry on the ground.
Thomas again from the I, tries to pop it to the outside. Moses runs him down, shy of the first down, about a 3-yard pickup. Nice defensive play from Calvin Moses.
Kelvin came up that time from his strong safety position. There you see Randy McPhail, number 34, the nose guard on the ground. They're going to have to really concentrate on blocking him to make their offense work. Kelvin gets a good handful of jersey that time and holds him up until pursuit can come to finish off the job.
And they will finish off the job. You saw 4 or 5 licks on the guy before he went down. 3rd down and 3. Richland really could use first down here to help out field position-wise and get a little momentum going offensively with 6:32 to go in the first quarter. Hurd. Offsides, illegal motion against Richland Northeast. So Hurd went up, tried to stagger the count, except his own tackle forgot it, steps up, and that moves him back 5 yards, and that helps the Hartsville defense, makes it more difficult on Richland Northeast, because 3rd down and long, you don't want to be in a lot of those situations playing against the team in the black jerseys right there.
That was 67, Tony Payton, who just popped up, 62, Jarrell Moore, the 6'3", 310-pound senior guard.
So when he pops up, you notice.
Whoa, he makes an impression now. That's going to force him into a passing situation. It's 3rd and 8.
A lot of room on the right side of the field, and 3 receivers go split to that side. Hurd rolls out that way. He's got plenty of running room. He should have the first down. Past the 20 to the 25, still on his feet to the 33. Nice read by Hurd. Had everyone shifting over to the right side, and he cut it back to the left side and picks up the first down.
Beautiful play that time. The Hartsville coaches are really concerned about Hurd. He's a very good athlete. He throws the ball very well. Now we're going to see his running ability. He goes back. His receivers are covered because of the Hartsville secondary. So he tucks it up, cuts back against the grain, and picks up good yardage.
Yeah, the key on that play was 42 Prescott. You see him miss the tackle there at the end. He went with the receivers, leaving that middle wide open for Hurd to cut it back. So the Cavs make some noise, get the first down, 33, 1st and 10. Williams Still on his feet and almost breaks it. Jody Caldwell hung on for dear life, and that was enough to bring him down, but not until he gained 14 yards.
That was the Cavaliers' version of the counter tray. Both of those 300-pound guards pulled to the right-hand side. There you go, 62 and 67, leading the way that time for Williams. He cuts up inside, and Tyron Pendergrass makes a miss, but as you said, Jody Caldwell's hand kept that from being a big play.
I tell you, Hartsville's got some good players, some terrific big defensive players, but when you see 300 pounds pulling, it's hard not to want to get out of the way. Williams slips in the backfield and will go nowhere. Toops in the rest of the offensive line or defensive line with good penetration, stopping for a 1-yard gain.
We're seeing Pendergrass in there in the Red Fox secondary, starting in place of Lamont Wilson. Pendergrass plays a lot both ways. We've already seen him catch a touchdown pass. Going both ways on defense to make for a long night. There you get a good look at the Hartsville interior defensive line, who is coming with big play after big play all year long.
2nd down and 9.5. 4:53 in the first quarter, 7-0 Hartsville. Play action, Hurd. Under pressure, still on his feet. This is where he's dangerous. He avoids the sack and gets back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe picks up one. Good coverage by the Hartsville secondary.
Last 2 times he's gone back in the pocket to pass, there's been coverage there. And that's why you see him scrambling out of the pocket.
He is dangerous when he scrambles, though. We've seen it so far. That right there, any other quarterback, most likely is a sack. He avoids the sack, picks up 1.5 yards.
He had a great game last week against Lancaster. Coach Wingard said they threw the ball 30 times trying to keep the big Lancaster defense off balance, and did a great job in their win last week. And they're going to try to do the same thing against Hartsville tonight.
Hurd under pressure from Caldwell, gets away and throws it complete to the 45-yard line. Gresham makes the reception, but he's going to be shy of the first down by about 2 yards. Now it's decision time for Richland Northeast. Do you punt it away or do you take a gamble near midfield?
Again, beautiful work under pressure again by Hurd. He scrambles out, avoids the rush by the McPhail boys, and hits Gresham, the 5'8", 150-pound junior. That's his 20th catch on the year. They're going for it.
Both sides on their feet. 4th and 2, long count, trying to get the offsides. And now they have to call a timeout. Basically, they're up there trying to draw Hartsville offsides. Almost got it, but instead they have to call a timeout, and they'll probably punt it away. We'll find out when we return to Williams-Brice Stadium right after this. Go for it on 4th and 2. Big gamble early. Williams doesn't get it.
Marcus Turner, from his defensive tackle position, got penetration and came in that time. The Cavaliers lined up in a power-out formation, but that play had nowhere to go.
A big gamble by Richland Northeast. Turner does a terrific job of getting into the backfield, and now Hartsville has excellent field position at the 45, and Williams comes off limping. You see him at the bottom of your screen, 21 in the white jersey. He is the main offensive weapon for Richland Northeast, and he is limping badly.
1,982 all-purpose yards, a school record. 1,293 yards rushing, a school record. His replacement will probably be number 23, Cedric Blue. We'll look for that on the next possession for the Cavaliers.
To the air, Shoemate. He's got a man open, Neil Brown, complete. And Brown takes it inside the 35. The Hartsville passing game racking up big numbers in the first quarter.
This is just a seam route. Jacob takes a quick drop, and all Neil Brown does is beats the cornerback and gets in the seam before the free safety can get over to help. There you see 23, the free safety coming over, but it's too late. Neil Brown's got a big play.
25-yard pickup on first down. Now Hartsville has possession at the 30. 2:50 left here in the first quarter. Hartsville already leads at 7-0.
Another thing with Thomas Williams' injury, Thomas Williams is starting free safety.
Austin almost breaks it, picks up the first down inside the 20. See Austin, a big bruising runner up front.
It's a nice little quick trap in the inside. Nice blocks that time by Turner and Moses and Caldwell, and Austin picks up good yardage. 23 in for Thomas Williams now at the free safety position is Cedric Blue.
First and 10 from the 20. Mark Martin. Marcus Martin. See ya. Touchdown, Hartsville.
How do you turn a 3-yard loss into a touchdown? You just see it. You'll see it right here. Marcus Martin, Shoemate bumps it to the fullback, breaks the tackle, another tackle at the line of scrimmage, and he's off to the races. Strong running by Martin.
2 plays, 60 yards on that drive. So Richland Northeast gambles near midfield, going for it on 4th and 2 against one of the best defenses in the state. Lose the gamble, gives Hartsville good field position, and the Red Foxes make them pay immediately. And another injured player for Richland Northeast, Ryan Kendall. He goes limping over to the bench. Williams is already on the trainer's table getting his ankle wrapped. It could be a long night for the Cavaliers. 13 zip already. Gorney, point after touchdown. It is true. 14-0, Hartsville. We'll be right back. 14-0, Hartsville with the lead. Gorney booms it out of the end zone. And now Richland Northeast starts on offense without their main weapon. Thomas Williams on the trainer's table getting his ankle wrapped. And that's about 2,000 yards worth of total offense sitting on the trainer's table.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, also the starting free safety. So the Cavaliers have just lost 2 players when Mr. Williams went out with the ankle injury. Cedric Blue, number 23, will come in and fill that position as tailback.
So Hartsville up 14-0. Cavaliers without their top offensive weapon. It will take a lot for Richland Northeast to get back into the state championship game. Give it to the fullback who goes nowhere.
Jay Thier is a 6'2", 215-pound senior headed for the Shrine Bowl this year. A lot of college coaches are interested in this young man. He's got a lot of heart, a lot of intestinal fortitude, as the coaches say. Coach Wingard said one of the things about Thier is that he really wants to get in there and play, and he loves to block, as most fullbacks do. And whenever there's a blocking play to be called, Thier wants to get in the game.
2nd and 10. Hurd will throw. Under pressure from McPhail, does not get away. Randy McPhail with another sack. The all-time sack leader at Hartsville High School gets a big one.
Count him up, number 12 on the year. Trey Hurd goes back in the pocket, and this guy's just too quick to elude. You're going to have to be really quick to get away from Randy McPhail.
And now it's a 3rd down in light years as another Richland player wobbles off the field.
Daniel Mado is a second-string starting offensive tackler who did not start this game because of an injury. And as we saw in the last play, number 31 came out of the game. And that's Ryan Kendall, who was out for 2.5 weeks with a knee injury.
Blue on the delay, gets big yardage, but still not enough for the 1st down. Out to the 22. And Richland Northeast will have to punt it away like they should have done when they had the ball at the 45 on 4th and 2.
This young man, Cedric Blue, we're going to see him on the draw play right here. Hurt his knee last week against Lancaster. They did not think he would play tonight, but due to a good job of therapy by the trainers and the desire of Mr. Blue to play, we see him out here tonight. And it's a good thing he is, because with Williams going out, Cedric's going to get a lot of time tonight.
Brown and Pendergrass are back deep for Hartsville with 35 seconds left in the 1st quarter. An explosive 1st quarter for the Red Foxes, who are up 14 zip. And now Richland Northeast is forced to call a timeout, so a lot of disarray on the Richland Northeast sideline. It's going to take an awful lot from the coaching staff to keep this team focused and motivated.
That's probably because they've only got 10 guys on the field. And Jay Thier is now coming in to fill that second position.
But if you're Richland Northeast coach, what do you tell these guys to keep them in the ballgame? They've lost one of their top linemen for now. They've lost their top running back for now. Of course, both those guys might come in, and they're down 14 zip.
The injuries are a very important part of this game. And when you come this far, as a team like Richland Northeast has, up against all odds against a team that is hot as a firecracker in the Hartsville Red Foxes, you have to have all your cylinders clicking. And right now, it looks like the motor's starting to fall apart.
Brown and Pendergrass wait back at the 45. They'll set up the return. Pendergrass calls the fair catch right in the middle of the Gamecock, right at the 50-yard line. So once again, excellent field position for Hartsville. They've started at the 40, the 45, and the 50, respectively.
Number 70 comes in for the Hartsville Red Foxes, Leon Brown. He's a 5'11", 240-pound sophomore. So Coach Lineberger is really going to his bench early tonight.
So the Cavaliers, a little banged up right now, trying to stop Hartsville. They haven't been able to do it yet. They've done it once. Hartsville scored 2 offensive touchdowns and been stopped once. Shoemake keeps it. Jacob gets it inside the 45 down to the 44-yard line, and that will be the final play of a very good first quarter for the Hartsville Red Foxes. Shoemate with the touchdown pass. A touchdown run from Marcus Martin has the Red Foxes and about 6,000 faithful very happy here at Williams-Brice Stadium. 14-0 at the end of one quarter. Ejected after only 12 minutes of football. Richland Northeast trails Hartsville 14-0. Red Foxes with the ball in good field position, 44-yard line on a 2nd down and 4. Calvin Moses, big number 80, splits far out. Neil Brown is the flanker. Shoemate on the option. Will Keith for the 2nd straight time. Just shy of the 1st down, needed to get to the 40-yard line. He's going to be about a half-yard short. That sets up a 3rd down and a half-yard.
One of the things that the Cavaliers head coach Joe Wingard noted that Hartsville comes from a more hard driving, force the issue, rushing, ram it down your throat type conference than they do. The Richland Northeast conference they're in, we see a little more offensive diversity. And that's what he hoped he could do coming into tonight's game, was to throw Hartsville off balance by being successful passing, but they have not been able to do that so far.
3rd and short, Martin. 1st down for Hartsville. And still going, make that shot to Bacote, and Bacote carrying tacklers inside the 30 down to the 29. So Bacote gets his first carry of the game, and it's a 12-yard gain.
Well, it's easy to get those two guys mixed up. Both the very same physical stature, only one difference of 1 in their numbers. And there you see Shanta Bacote break a tackle, make a nice plant, little hand action there, and cut back inside and pick up some good blocks from Marcus Turner and just drag number 51 down the field.
Coach Lois Lamberger has depth, and he's not afraid to use it at all positions, and that will only make Marcus Martin and Bacote both more effective in the 2nd half because they'll get breaks here in the 1st half. I formation on 1st and 10 from the 29. Shoemate wants to throw, looking for Neil Brown on the fly, double teamed, and knocked away at the last second. It's a tough throw for Shoemate, going all the way across the field and into double coverage. As now the safeties from Richland Northeast starting to back off from the line of scrimmage and really respect the throwing game of Hartsville.
Yeah, they have to. They've already been burned once tonight. That was a 5'8", 164-pound sophomore, Marion Martin, number 15 with a defensive play there. That ball hung up there a little bit too much for Jacob Shoemate. And Neil Brown likes to run him, catch him on the fly, and he had to stop and come back with that ball.
So Hartsville mixing it up, throwing on 1st down. Now a 2nd down and 10. Jacob Shoemate, 22 touchdown passes this year. Had 1 in the 1st quarter. Quick hit, trying to get the tight end coming across the middle. We've seen that play a lot this year. This one falls incomplete.
That was to Mark Thompson, the tight end, whereas Kelvin Moses, we saw him take that play for a touchdown against Dillon. Just a little fullback fake to hold the linebackers for a second. The tight end tries to find a seam, but Jacob Shoemate threw this ball way out in front. There you see Mr. Williams back in the game. Thomas Williams is back in at the free safety position, so hopefully that ankle will not keep him out of the game, because we want to see this game as competitive as possible.
Yeah, and Williams did a nice job of stepping in the passing lane and taking that streak across the middle away from him. 3rd and 10, that passed on the first 2. And they'll run on the 3rd, Willie Austin. Wrapped up, but still going inside the 25, down to the 24-yard line. And now it's decision time for Louis Lamberger. Does he bring Gorney in for about a 40-yarder, or does he go for it on what will be a 4th down and about 5? He's going to bring in Gorney.
It's going to be about a 42-yard attempt, which is within his range. The wind is against him, because the wind, whereas in the previous game the night was blowing across the field, is taking more of a left to right angle as you watch the game tonight.
Backup quarterback holds, no fake, blocked almost. Gorney gets it away, and it's good. Ryan Gorney drills it from 42 yards away, and he may have been roughed after the kick. We'll have to see what the flag is down on the field. Is there nothing Hartsville can't do?
Well, they are really clicking on all cylinders. It was a roughing call against the Cavaliers.
And here's that dangerous time where a coach has to decide, do I take actual points off the scoreboard?
I think this is a no-brainer for Louis Lineberger. He's got control of this game. If it was a different situation with the score, I would say go for it. But in this situation, they've got a sound lead. This makes it a 17-0 lead in the 2nd quarter. I think he ought to keep these.
They do decline the penalty. Interesting decision. I think I would have kept the football and tried to score a touchdown off of it.
I think this Hartsville offense will have plenty of opportunities to score more points as the game goes on. You see going to get a good toe into the ball. And again, the rusher, instead of going for the toe of the kicker, goes straight to where the ball is. And when you do that, if you don't hit the kicker, you're going to hit the holder, and you're going to draw a roughing penalty every time.
He made it by about 4 yards. So Brian Gorney, who missed only 1 extra point the entire season, now is a 42-yarder in the state playoff game. So Gorney, a senior, going out in style here with the kick. He moved to Hartsville a couple of years ago from the Pittsburgh area, and he certainly has found a home in Red Fox country.
He was 5 for 11 before that kick, so he's now 6 for 12, batting 50% on the year from his field goals. He's a 5'10", 142-pound senior who has probably got a college career in front of him also.
So Brian Gorney's boomed 2 into the end zone. He's made a field goal, and Hartsville leads it 17-zip with 10:06 to go in the first half. Williams is back deep to receive. This one, a high kick, will allow a return. Taken by Williams on the run at the 20. Williams pops to the outside, still on his feet, and dragged down at the 37. So finally, some decent field position for RNE.
Richland Northeast, if you remember their last series, they had a lot of success running the ball. And I'm afraid to say it, but I think Williams is down again.
And he's down along his own sidelines. He was dragged down from behind. Maybe that ankle got caught underneath him.
And also, if you've been to Williams-Brice before, you know that there's an AstroTurf sideline here. And when you run off of the grass onto the AstroTurf on the 2 different surfaces, it looks like he's got a knee or an ankle problem there, and he looks like he's in excruciating pain.
Well, they don't have to stop play because he is out of bounds, so play continues, but without Williams. So they go to a 4 wide receiver offense. The run and shoot from Richland Northeast, down 17 in the second quarter.
Coach Wingo was really concerned how Hartsville was going to guard this defense. This is their passing offense set here.
Complete over the middle. Prescott with the defense, 8-yard pickup.
That's 22 Leon Terry, the 6'2", 180-pound senior flanker who just found a seam. What they try to do with this offense is you put 2 wide receivers out on each side, try to draw man coverage out on the outside receivers. And what that does, it opens up the middle because the linebackers take wide drops to try to help out on the outside coverage. Coach Joe Wingo is really concerned. How would Hartsville defend this type of formation? And he's got a good indication right now. And they're backing it again. They're probably going to try to throw the ball.
Hurd moves well in the pocket. This time gives up to Thayer, who was met by Randy McPhail.
Hartsville now read their keys right that time with a 1-back set. When you draw run blocking from the offensive lineman, the defensive lineman knows, hey, who's going to get the ball? The only guy in the backfield. And that happened to be Thayer, and the Hartsville Red Fox defense was all over him.
Under 9 minutes ago in the second quarter, the Hartsville defense has been perfect so far. Now it's a 3rd down and 2 from the 45. 4 receivers in the game on 3rd and short. If Richland Northeast is going to go deep, this would be an excellent situation. Screen pass to Leon, and he's got the first down. Inside Hartsville territory, Leon Terry gets his 2nd reception. This one good for a 1st down.
Now what they're trying to do right now, and they're having success with it, is they're taking that Hartsville defense who likes to bunch it up and play strong against the run. They're taking and they're spreading their athletes out across the field, and they're causing mismatches with using the motion to get the defensive secondary to adjust and then make misreads. And now they're being able to take advantage of some missed coverage in the zone for Hartsville Red Fox.
Well, we may see this offense for the rest of the game because Williams is on the trainer's table in agony. Hurd, quick hit, incomplete, almost intercepted by Pendergrass.
Both of the outside receivers that time, Reuben Gresham and also number 23, Cedric Blue, number 23, came in. Neither one of the guys were looking for the ball, and Trey Hurd made an early throw. That's one of the things you have to be conscious of in this wide set offense. Is as soon as you leave the line of scrimmage, you have to look for the quarterback because he may be under pressure. Because with only 5 linemen in front of you, the defensive line can get pressure on him quick.
And Hartsville has to worry about containing Hurd when he scrambles. He moves very well in the pocket. There on the delayed draw, hit by Codwell after a 4-yard gain. So Codwell and Thayer, 2 Division I prospects, collide right there. Williams is also a Division I prospect, but right now he is just in pain. Bad ankle, bad knee. Doesn't look good for him returning to the ballgame.
He really had a lot of the Hartsville Red Foxes pile up on him on that kickoff return. And as I said earlier, coming off that grass onto the turf, the leg can really get a shock, or the ankle or the knee joint can really get a shock when it comes to those different surfaces. I hope that this young man will be all right because the Cavaliers need him in the game to have the offense and defensive punch. They need to be successful.
3rd and 6. Hurd rolling to the short side, has time, almost sneaks it in the triple coverage, was intending to pass. into Corey Ward.
Here you see Hurd roll out. And Kelvin Moses comes in there at the last second to get a hand on the ball and almost makes his 7th interception of the year.
Yeah, Moses, a Division I free safety prospect, USC, Clemson, a lot of the big schools in the Southeast are looking for him. Penalty flag is down away